This episode of the BJJ Foxcast is brought to you by BioPro. BioPro is an all-natural alternative to prescription human growth hormone, which aids in recovery, anti-aging, metabolism, libido, immunity, skin health, cognition, sleep, and stress. Just one vial per day provides a substantial boost to all of these growth factors. Okay, so that's what they want me to say. Here's what I know as an aging grappler. I've been using BioPro Plus and the nighttime variant, BioPro Plus Cortisleep, for several months, and it feels like I've grown a third lung. My gas tank is noticeably bigger, my recovery is faster, and I'm back on the mats much quicker, not just between training sessions, but between rounds. Now you can get $30 off your first order of BioPro when you use the code FOXCAST at www.bioproteintech.com. That's code FOXCAST for $30 off your first order at www.bioproteintech.com. Thank you, BioPro. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. I am your host, Alex Martinez, and today I have, where do I start? An MMA veteran, a Fight to Win veteran, a, correct me if I'm wrong, Bullpen Series Champion at 185 pounds, IBJJF veteran, AZBJJL veteran, Jose Munoz on the show, and the owner of 12th Street Jiu Jitsu in Phoenix. Welcome to the show, brother. Awesome. Did I miss anything?
No, man.
Just a little bit closer to the mic.
If I could be like more discreet about every single one of those achievements, I would. You know, it comes with everybody else along with me. You know,
I get it. Yeah, man.
It's a good time. You know.
Yeah. So we were teammates back in the day, man. I'm sorry. And you're a black belt under Gustavo Dantas. I forgot to mention that. So big deal there. That's really cool. I'm gonna get to Gustavo. I've been saying this for about a year. I'm gonna get Gustavo on the show, and I think he's in Brazil right now. When he gets back, we're gonna connect. So that's gonna be cool.
For me, I just show up to class whenever I get a chance to see him, and I get lucky.
Yeah,
I'll be like, yes, like, the guy is great, man.
Yeah,
but he's out there doing some big things for like the community.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things we work on that goes money towards the Jiu-Jitsu tribe, and so
yeah,
I really hope I hope I do enough.
Yeah,
because like I take his efforts towards doing what he does very serious. You know, you own this, you do that, you've done well. Okay, well, what about other people?
Yeah,
that you don't know about that could use some of this. You know,
yeah.
Growing up, there were moments in my life where I was like, this is awful. I would like to be in a different position.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I didn't know what Section 8 housing was until I realized I was living in it for about a year. I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I can totally relate. And we did a trip to Rocky Point on my birthday last in October. And it was me, it was Amy, my friend Dan, and his wife Andrea. We went out there. And there's a little Rocky Point Jiu-Jitsu place out there. And we hooked up with those guys and went out there and trained with them. And just seeing like how like they love Jiu-Jitsu. They love that people were coming in from out of town to train with them. And they were so generous and gracious with their time. And they literally, I think they called off work, to be there. And I'm not sure that they can afford that, but they did. And it's just a matter of, it's like, their efforts to build a community down there is huge, and they don't have a lot to work with, So I can totally relate, and what Gustavo's doing with the Jiu-Jitsu tribe is pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
yeah. How involved are you with that stuff, with the Jiu-Jitsu tribe stuff?
So I don't know if I should disclose it. We could delete it later.
Yeah,
but,
we're gonna.
you know what an affiliation fee is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Some gyms pay like if. I'll break a rule. Like if I own a Gracie Baja gym, it's probably going to cost me a lot of money to have that emblem in front of my house. But what I would do, and I know advertising is good, and then them checking and giving you the, what is expected, which is a great organization. I prefer to start. First off, I ran kids programs for many years through the Washington School District, and they trained me, and it was very difficult to do. So I had whoa, parents, these are the guidelines. This is how I'll use that. That's great. That's a good, I'm going to follow those rules, and then have the kids program, so to own a gym, sometimes you need like a little help with, okay, well, who's backing you on your black belt? You know, like who promoted you? That for old school people, who promoted you? Why should you be teaching? So, I always wanted a good diploma that was like, man, I went to Stanford. I went to, at the time right there, you know, even now, like if like full-time teaching is tough, but like every time I took a class from him, it was phenomenal. Like I was like, we're watching video, we're doing this. I don't know if these are secrets, but
no. I mean, I trained. I trained with him a little bit, but you know, because Nava we used to all be Nova Niao. So yeah, the way he teaches, it's like, here's a technique that we're learning, and oh, by the way, here's it being used live in a tournament. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that was really cool.
I need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah.
That's how I learn. And when I walked into his class, I'm sorry everybody, but he had film, and I was just like, okay, we just did this, now we're doing this, now we go back. That's cool. That's a very chill time. I wish I joined sooner. I didn't. I was with Paul, and we were cross training.
Yep.
We switched to Aries, and I enjoyed time with Samir and Osvaldo. Man, I could talk for days about each individual.
Yeah.
I think Milton Bastos is great too.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what, you know. Osvaldo has that great gym over there.
Yeah, Goodyear.
Man, the kids program. I see them all the time, tournaments.
Unbelievable.
My kids, I'm like, I had a kid transfer, and I was like, you're going to do good, man. That guy has a lot of good stuff to teach.
Yeah.
I spent time with a lot of people in Phoenix, and then switched to Gustavo's. So yeah, the admission to be affiliated goes towards the Jiu-Jitsu tribe.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I like to put a lot of huge stories to a question too.
No, that's good, man. No, that's really good. So this is like long form, right?
Open, and every month it goes there, and then I think we actually, like, for my birthday, I want to pick something, and I really like this one, and I look up to Professor Gustavo. So I tell, you know, on Facebook, you have the birthday thing, and people donate to whatever foundation.
Yeah.
And you can add it to, I have a lot of good friends who love me, and my mom, and she'll send, and they'll send, because they love me.
Yeah.
To the Jiu-Jitsu tribe and donate, and I never want a recognition for it or nothing, but it's so amazing to see every year on my birthday, just donate to I share it on my Facebook, my Instagram, and just, you know, and from what I see on the videos, they have mats, they have gis, they have someone who's organizing the, you buy a Jiu-Jitsu tribe gi, you know, you get one, and then that kid gets one. And so when I sell kimonos in my gym, like, you know what you get them for, and then you know what you get back, and the goal is to get two to have stock and variety. Yeah. That's how you organize.
Yeah.
But if I knew that as I'm doing that, I also get, like, that's very well organized. How did you do it? Here's my money. Yeah. At least, like, two people. I got one and they got one. Yeah. So they're nice and stuff like that, and it all comes from the same place.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. I love it. So tell me about how you found jiu-jitsu. How old were you when you heard the word jiu-jitsu for the first time?
I had some friends that were from California, and so you're in Phoenix, you're in, like, 5th grade on Butler, I don't know, 35th Ave, and you got these friends from California who just experience things a little bit differently. Yeah. And they're just, the fashion is different, and then you start to see what they know, and then one of them's like, let's watch UFC, and I'm just like, what's going on? What's this? And then, like, so I just graduated high school. I heard about a few friends of mine doing jiu-jitsu, and I was like, I still didn't get it. I like grappling. Cool, wrestling. Yeah. To me, wrestling and grappling was the same thing. It still is. And so, like, I knew it was like, I got to go learn. And so one of my friends' older brother found a Megaton.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So we're in 2007. 2008 now. So Megaton was pretty much Megaton. Then I heard about Gustavo also being open. Yeah. Once I was at Megatons, I got to know the community a little bit more. Yeah. Went to tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's back in the day where we had the flip numbers for scorekeeping, and stuff like that, like old school stuff, man. Yeah. We're spoiled now.
We should pull one out and scare the kids.
Yeah. Remember the oh gosh, I was talking to I can't remember who I was talking to, but remember when the brackets were put up on the wall? There's a paper brackets and you had to find your name and then the bracket changed and you never knew what time you were going.
You know, when I threw tournaments at my gym, I had a huge number for the first 3 years. Like, it was just like, you know, there's a lot more gyms now, but I had huge numbers. So I like to organize stuff. And I've been doing that since 5th grade on the soccer field. To be like, hey, let's play already. Oh, you guys are taking so much time. 4th grade versus 5th grade. I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Then we got so good at it. By 5th grade, that we told the 4th grade versus 5th grade, we just destroyed 6th grade versus 5th grade.
Yeah.
3rd grade, I don't know, whoever, but we already had even teams. Let's go. Boom. Just play all day. You know?
That's cool. Yeah.
So, like, sometimes I see things and I just want to throw my, like, let's get this going.
Yeah.
Everyone else is good at everything else. You know?
Yeah. That's good. No. So you started jiu-jitsu. Did you start jiu-jitsu in 2007? Is that when you kind of took your first class?
2006. Remember, I'm 35.
I hear you, man. I hear you, yeah.
This was when I was like 18, 19. Yeah. I'm trying to get the dates right. I was still lifting weights, but I went to megatons twice a week.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay, and who'd you get your blue belt from?
Okay. So then I switched to a Gracie Baja.
Okay. I think I've seen a photo of you in a Gracie Baja gi. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
There wasn't so much social media, but the instructor was doing a great job. We loved it.
Was that one out in Metro Center?
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the original ones in the Valley.
And I think a lot of people don't realize this, but you know, again, it brings people in because if people look for a search engine, they're gonna find what's jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
And they were flourishing across Arizona. So basically, here's the first one ever, and Van Buren, I think, went through those doors.
Yep.
Isa went through those
doors. Isa did too,
Arnold went through those doors. I couldn't stop. Madrid went through those doors. He's great. Just Steve Rosenberg, Montero to me. Man,
Steve Rosenberg was at Gracie Baja?
Steve Rosenberg?
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No. But I think just everyone knew and went through that gym and just like, it's just like, and then they switched over and found gyms, but it must have created a passion for it to take it serious.
Yeah.
There has to be something accounted for that. Is a lot of people come in and don't experience what they thought they would. But if someone taught you enough fundamentals to survive, to have a little bit of fun, hey, you're gifted in this direction. You're tall. Triangles are very immediately.
Yeah.
You got your first submission after your first day after. If I gave you morning class, night class, you know, you stick around and then you learn more. But like, you need people to throw you that safety harness, you know what I'm saying? Like, it helps, and they stick around for a little bit longer time.
Yeah.
And then you could still help them a little bit.
Of course, yeah.
And they meet others that help them. Videos, Gordon Ryan's DVDs.
Yeah.
I love it when students are doing that because they're teaching great technique, but you still got to live it. You still got to go through why they decided that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to try something to alter it, and we tried to teach it to you, but then you went straight to the DVD. That's a good DVD. Let me get you up to date. Let me make you understand the DVD a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, actually, I was talking to, I was on a friend of mine's podcast. My friend Rico and my friends Rico and Hunter have a podcast called Non-Victim Nation. It's about just like being prepared, you know. So they have like jiu-jitsu people in there, people that shoot, people that like do like overland stuff, you know, all kinds of stuff. And I was telling him, like, when you have somebody that's so advanced, right? Like, where I was using Marcelo Garcia as the example, right? Yeah, he's fantastic. But like, when you talk about Marcelo going from mount, you know, and then he's baiting the Marcelo team from mount, right? He's not diving on somebody's neck and hoping for the best. Like, he fundamentally is so sound that he controls the person so well, and he forces them to make a mistake, which then he executes the guillotine, right? And that's not just from that position, from a lot of different positions. But the fundamentals of the mount have to be in place, or else there's never a guillotine, or there's never an attack, right? So, I don't know that I I said it correctly on the show, but that's kind of what I was getting at. Like if you don't have a good, side control position or a back take, where you don't understand what you need to control, you probably won't execute the submission correctly, right? So that's kind of where we're going after the like you were saying, the fundamentals of it, how important they are.
You mentioned Marcelo Garcia, man. That when we were doing jiu-jitsu back then, I was like, YouTube one day. I was like, well, I'm going to start searching for what jiu-jitsu has to offer on the internet.
Yeah.
And, dude, man, there was some Marcelo Garcia videos that just made me wish I could go to New York and learn. And, and then I met Paul, and then I met Gustavo, and then I met all the Valley's coaches, and I love all of them.
Yeah.
And I could just there's someone so far I couldn't even stay long enough, but I made trips for periods of camps to get to know who they are. And Carlos Farias.
Yeah.
You got Paul Nava.
Yep.
And now you have a gym out here. If I was blue belt, purple belt, I'd be going to your gym. You have Sinceros over there?
No, not anymore. Okay. Yeah. So he was our coach for about a little over a year. Yeah. And he moved on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I got coaches at my gym. I got gi coaches. I got no gi coaches. I got kids coaches. I got just like you do. I got Adrian Nez.
Yeah.
Listen.
Probably one of the better no-gi grapplers in the Valley, Adrian.
I've underrated. Had him
people don't talk about him enough, I think.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Man, if you put your stock on something, man, you'll get your money back with that guy. Yeah. That guy's an amazing human being.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help with everyone understand, reach out to him. Give him a call. He'll answer you.
Yeah.
What can I do for you? And for me, I was, since I met him, he was young. I was like, hey, can I drive you to this other tournament? I would like to see you win.
Yeah.
It was nothing, no gym, nothing. It was just, my friend, anything. And then I opened, and then I had a good time opening my gym the first year. Then he came in after COVID. I'm like, hey, whenever COVID's over, I'm back from California or Texas, whatever. All right. And then so I was like, no, you could sub me. You can open your own gym. And it just seems like he wants to focus on his craft, what he's doing. I think there's something going on. He wants to he's building up. And I'm like, man, I would like to see this up close. How often do you get a black belt who's pretty good?
Yeah.
Who can choke you out in your own gym and want to train with you. And you go, well, what do you want to do? You want to teach them class? Yeah. As a business sense, it would make sense for me as the owner. And then later on you see Tesla. What's his name? He owns Tesla.
Elon Musk.
Elon hired people that are better than him at each position.
Yeah.
So I love judo. I love jujitsu. I love wrestling. I love grappling, ADCC rules, IBJJF rules. If there's a big tournament and it changes rules, I'm changing. I'm ready. I want to play chess with them too.
I love it.
The rules
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Make up your rules. I will throw your rules down your throat.
What's your favorite rule set? Who has the rule set that you love? Maybe it doesn't play right into your game, but you love the rule set.
I think if I did judo, I would and stick to it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because if you get one throw, it's over.
That's it.
You punch. Cool, I'm tired. I'll give it one. So that's why when I go into tournaments, like I did for No-Gi Worlds this past weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I got I knew then. I know. I signed up for it. It's going to be either him or the other one.
Yeah.
50% chance there.
Yeah.
And the seeding I keep ending up in, I've seen the pattern throughout the year, and then I just knew I would draw Robert Jimenez first round in Absolute, and then I knew I would draw Javier, and then all those Autos guys. I'm friends with some of them, and I'm like, how good is this one? He's like, he's beating everyone up.
Wow.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah. I think, and I don't know what kind of wrestling background they have, but I think you had better wrestling than the guys that you faced this past weekend, or at least at Nogi Worlds.
Have you seen that Judo Flow guy?
Who's that?
Judo. He does like Judo online for Nogi at Legion.
Oh yes.
So those videos are really nice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a Judo instructor that could do all that, and so I know how to throw my hips and control myself and feel. He used to throw me so hard, but the thing is, you can roll out of it, and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So you just discipline yourself to and it's actually not boring at all. It makes things interesting. So
yeah.
When I was at Grace Fighting Systems with Madrid, he would handle Jiu-Jitsu, and Christian Marquis would handle Judo, and I would always do Judo. And then I was like, can I try these on Madrid students? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, this is fun. I just throw people. And we had guys from other gyms join us over time. And I think we did a thing with Paul Nava, like tournaments, Vegas. Just destroy Vegas. We took first, right?
Yeah,
Vegas?
yeah.
Pretty
much every time we went. That was oh gosh, man. We took first in as an association, I think it was 2014, 2015. I think they started doing, I can't remember the year they combined the Vegas Open with Master Worlds, but I remember, back in 14, 15, and maybe even 16, we were going up and cleaning up. It was fantastic.
So I was in the worst team in the universe a certain period of time, meaning not many people went in.
Okay.
But just let you know, do you remember who won every tournament for the first 10 or 12 years?
Mm-mm.
So do you ever remember seeing, let's say in the past couple of years, we see REs.
Yep.
But do you remember the first couple of years who took first, second, third?
Gosh.
And I found that stat book.
No, I don't remember.
So
what years are you talking about?
Do you remember when we won that year that Grace and Paul Nava were in the association?
Yeah.
So Paul took first. Do you remember that year that in Arizona State?
Yep.
Was it Arizona State or Southwest Classic or one of those?
It was one of the two. Yeah, okay. Closer mid-year tournaments.
So that year was the first year another team took the first base spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it always GD?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you knew that, but so there was consecutively 8 to 10 years, and we were still in the same when we both went first and second into Vegas. That's why Vegas was just Drysdale's was second.
Yeah.
Offense, dude, you're awesome. Yeah. But they fell to second. They were Vegas #1 team along with Cascao.
Yep.
I don't know if
that was a big team. Yeah.
Dude, I fought a dude from there.
Tough.
It was destroyed me. I was like, oh, I took second. It was cool, man.
Yeah.
I ultra heavyweights. I would take advantage at purple and brown, but once they started to actually be big dudes, that knew jiu-jitsu, and they were from Brazil. So you just got to convince dudes from all shapes and sizes to do jiu-jitsu. They're their own world champion. They're their own age group. That's something to work out and keep yourself in line. That's all it is. Oh, hey, I took second. Oh, well, hey, I'm keeping myself healthy. I'm on weight year after year. It sounds like a healthy life. You know?
Yeah. It can be. It can be really healthy. It can also be, it can go down the wrong path sometimes. I've seen people kind of go a little over the top, and it becomes unhealthy, like training through injuries and, being stubborn, stuff like that. But there's just something about being off the mat. It just sucks, dude. I mean, we both had bad injuries, and just the time that the doctor tells you, it's funny because the doctor will say, oh, you can't be on the mat for at least another, 2 months. And then I'm like, okay, that's regular humans. For me, we're probably a month and a half. Let's go 4 weeks. We'll go 4 weeks and I'll go back on the mat. And it never works out the best, but yeah, that's kind of our mentality.
2 months ago, what was that Nogi? Remember the Nogi States? I fought Oscar.
Yeah.
So I had a pain in my stomach and I went to the doctor and it was a cyst.
Oh, wow.
It was a cyst and it popped in my belly button later on. But what happened was they thought it was a hernia. So I had a surgeon meeting by Nogi Worlds in December. I was just like, oh, and then later on it bled. And then finally I'm fine. But a surgeon by emergency was like, you're clear, dude. You're good to go. And I'm like, I've been off for 2 months. I've been telling people to tell me not to move. I've never had experiences with certain things.
Yeah.
But I had a little thing in my belly button. Oh, man, the surgeons made fun of me. I was just like, they're like, are you okay? Like, yeah, they were saying my guts were going to come out. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah,
like,
we don't know any better.
Walking funny. And then like, you know, I started right away. I had like 2 weeks of prep and then Nogi Worlds. And then I went to Colorado for like a couple good like reps. And I popped my knee and I'm doing Nogi Worlds all messed up. And then I had to cancel my 185 card for combat jiu-jitsu, which I wanted to do so badly. Like this might be my thing. Like slapping people. Like I like Burchik and Mercedes so much for having the Eddie Bravo connection. We got other 10th Planet gyms out here, but in Tucson, man, they're turning. They know if you give them a source, they're gonna take on, and they're gonna now they're taking on a wrestling. They got the whole show ready. They did a great job. I love their professionalism. Yeah, just want to give them a shout out, Burchek and Mercedes, and then this Eddie Bravo gave me the spot for 185, even though I lost my trials. And they, you know, it was just a good opportunity. But man, making 185 takes. Let me be healthy, man. I just fought. Yeah. Again, I haven't stopped. Like I could do better next year. Yeah. Let me just enjoy Christmas this year. Yeah. Focus on the gym, make flip. You know, I gotta. You know, you get extra clients, put a little extra effort. Here's the money. Yeah. Travel and a little bit more comfort. It's absolutely tough. You know? Yeah. Competing is like expensive.
It's very expensive. And you know when you're, you know, like
people think I'm getting paid. I'm like, no. I paid
we pay to play,
Robert. Yeah. You know, thank you for being there. Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, and you know, I think your time will come. I mean, you'll make money off of it, and because I mean, you're doing all the right things, and it's just a matter of time. But yeah, you know, going back to Burchek, he I first met him when he was doing stuff at Northside BJJ. Remember that? He had the Toro Tech.
I asked them, and man, that community they truly love each other. That entire community is like, we're in Tucson, and it's legit. Yeah, I love, like, I've done commentating for some shows, and I'm like, I'm so blessed because then I get to see their best people go up against the best people in Phoenix. Yeah. And then I'm like, man, and then I know their coaches, and then I know their coaches. Yeah. So then I just kind of like, as the generations come through this sport, I want to make myself available to pass on the history of like this sport in Arizona. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in California. I don't know how they're doing, but I'm always watching out for the people in Arizona. Aaron Wilson's doing good. Yeah, I like seeing him. Win. Like, man, and you know what? I see him everywhere. Yeah. And I see his coaches let him. Like, hey, man, this is cool. Like, He's doing us a huge favor by being great at this sport. Yeah,
Aaron is one of those guys, like, no matter where he goes, like, people love him, and not because he, like, you know, he cozies up to anybody. He just works his ass off. No matter what, he works hard.
I saw you, him, Gary, Brandon Walker, Jose Bufanda.
Daniel Rodriguez was there.
You know, Jorge. I really liked everybody. I can name the whole team. Yeah. Oh man, and then the connection to cross training with Gustavo in the mornings and joining into the Worlds Camp, the Doji Camp. Yeah. You know, I didn't see the attendance I'd expect, but man, I enjoyed. Man, I'll be here. You know. Yeah. I met Barral, Jose. Like all of them are in here right now. Yeah. This is great. Why would I not be here? Right. So, and now I met Jair.
Cool dude. I like Jair a lot.
And then Jair goes like, come here. And I was like, cool. Like, you know, I just like see his wisdom. I go, there's got to be something about this guy. If I just tone down my, like, I have to win behavior, I'm going to have to just enter in, and taught me jiu-jitsu all over again, man. Yeah. I was rolling with him, and I was like, if I do step it up, he's gonna just do his thing. and there's times where he's like, oh, my shoulder, and there's times where like, doesn't matter, bro, go at it.
Let's go. Yeah.
And I love it, man. You know, rolling with you, it's very fun.
Oh, thank you.
Let me say something. So your body can do things that I'm like, not in half guard. I'm like, I have to redo my game. I have to like change it again. You, Jake Watson has an extremely good flexibility with the same area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man, I can't play deep half with these guys. Their knees can turn and twist without, you know, maybe, over time you can create like a deep problem. But like, if I think I'm hanging on to something and you're getting out, I'm like, oh, man. And then I gotta do this right. I gotta do this differently. You know, oh, this is kind of aggressive. I don't know if I want to do it that way. I want to find a better way.
Yeah.
This leads to just this, and I'll play a different system.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel when you roll with me?
You're a you're a nightmare to roll with, because it's like a punishment flow roll. So you're not mean. You're just everywhere all at the same time. Like your hips are perfect. I couldn't explain it. Like I remember one time, okay, I'm a white belt. I think you were a purple belt or maybe like high blue. We're up right on that area. And we were rolling. And I remember I was so tired, but I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to go after him. And you put me on my back. And I remember at one point you were on your feet and you were holding me down with your head. You had your head in my midsection and I couldn't move out from under you. And I don't think you're using your hands. And then when I finally exploded, you were on my back. And I'm like, okay, so this is how it's going to go. If someone is,
there's something to think of. If someone is a newer belt and I'm able to do a simple, like, okay, what you're doing is penetrating your weight here and I can hold you with this or this. Mm-hmm. And like, have you ever crossed someone's arms and then pinned your knee on top of them?
Oh yeah.
While you're, and you could do that to like someone who's super bulky.
Yeah.
But it's the IQ of the fighter to get out.
Yeah.
The stringiest little guy will punish me from that these days, you know. Back then, I was like, this guy's doing exactly, and he wants to push himself. But I will show him that one day he can just hold someone like this and then be like an ultra like control of the position.
Yeah,
I could be this and that and hurt him and be more maybe disrespectful or painful to show that like dominance or like back then it was different.
It was, yeah.
But, there was a time where like if I roll with you 3 or 4 times, it's like I gotta show you like you should stop here to hear from according to my understanding. And if there's something wrong in a training environment, they'll improve my understanding and everything should be fine.
Yeah.
So then it's tough, man. You like sometimes it could be a bad day and just be like, "Whoa, I feel better now."
Yeah, but there were times like, so rolling with you, rolling with Daniel back in the day, and there were a couple other guys. What I noticed was like you used the amount of effort that you absolutely had to, and nothing else. And so I still use that methodology today. Like there are some guys that are just so squirmy, so fast that you got to exert yourself a little bit. But those that you can control, you do control, right? And then you just dominate the match. And you could dominate from bottom too. And that's what I learned from you as well. It just seemed like you were everywhere all at once when we roll together. You know, you have a lot of muscle, but you weren't using it. You know what I mean? It was more flowy, so it's really cool. And I've seen you do it to other people in tournament play. Yeah. That's how you roll.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It sucks. Like there's been moments in practice where like it's like I'm an unstoppable like creature, whatever, I don't know, myth. Mm-hmm. But in tournaments I'm very nice. It's almost, and then Paul used to be like, Jose, can you stop talking to them and stop saying some stuff, and then after the tournament can you stop shaking hands?
That's Paul's thing.
Like so nice to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but I fight them 10 times a year.
Yeah.
So eventually I saw him like shake hands with everyone, and then you know what? It's okay with everyone. Okay, cool. We'll get in the mat. We'll roll. Same as a tournament. Tournaments are no different.
Yeah.
Okay, if I roll with whoever I roll with at Nogi Worlds at their gym, they're gonna do the same thing or more. And then if they let me warm up and let me get like, just get in the moment, I might give them a good round too. They might be like, oh, I heard you were good at something. Like, yeah, I can escape anything if I'm pissed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So let's go back for a second. So when I was a blue belt, and we had a big shakeup in our academy when I was with Paul, and we lost our kids coach. And Paul asked me to take over the kids coaching. And I was like, yeah, cool. I'll do what I can. I had no idea what I was doing. At the time, you had one of the best kids programs in the Valley. Right. And it was a little bit out of my way. I think you guys were off of like 17 in Union Hills or something like that. So kind of in that area, right?
You give me the title, but again, when I have a title, it came with the community.
Yeah, of course.
So at the time, Paul elevated our gym into my eyes that gave us a sense of like, okay, there's a big team. There's an entity out here. We want to see how we are going to do. And everyone bought in. They were like, this is great. Yeah. He came in and we contracted him, and Gustavo liked the interactions we were having. And he was just like, this is a great thing going on. There's a lot of time spent here. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time at Paul's too. Yeah. Yeah. You know, at the time I worked in an industry where I could just like be able to afford to be at work 2 times a week by showing my value. And once I had my value in this company, that I only had to work 2 times a week.
That's awesome.
And then the rest of the time was morning sessions at Gustavo's, evening, night sessions. You know, Paul had the toughest open mats.
Yeah, dude.
I've ever been at. And it was because like when you met him at the door, he was like, how you doing? I got some already here for you. Yeah. How are you? What's your name? Let me get your information. And in a sense of like he handled getting them to get back here to join us. Yeah. And we built a very good and you guys had a core group. Listen. Yeah. How I run my gym. There are coaches available all the time in a group of 15. 15. Wow. 15 people. Wow. They're all available. 2 of them a week are going to call you and go, hey, man, I got called into work. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry about it, bro. Yeah. I got 6 guys ready to cover it, 6 girls ready to cover you. Yeah. At my gym, if you can be available and you pass a background check. Of course. Obviously, I got officers here. I just give you the date of birth. And, thank you for doing that for me, sir. Yeah. Looks like you're good, man. I've been with you for a year. I think you're a good person. I've been known you for 10 years. Everything's good to go. Let's shake hands. Look, what days can you help me with? And here's my criteria. Show up to class. You show up to class. Kids can take in about, like, we're talking about like kilobytes. You're a blue belt, you're a purple belt. You got terabytes. Yeah. I don't need all that. Yeah. I need you to tell them first step, second step, play a game, do it again. Get them not to quit. Let's play a couple stripes. Dude, now we got them hooked. Yep. To get a world championship. I didn't do nothing. I just taught them how to speak. They know how to read books now. All right, cool. Yeah. Would you guys want to do this? Like, yeah, that sounds good. You want to do football? Only like 3% of you are going to go to the NFL. Or you can fight the world champion tomorrow like I did. Yeah, no kidding. Dude, Jiu-Jitsu is the best sport in the entire universe.
It is, man. By far. I mean, I remember like, you know, being in bullpens with like legends at Pans. You know what I mean? And I'm like, how the hell am I in the same bullpen with this guy? You know what I mean? It's just, it's very humbling because, you know, at the end of the day, when you meet them, like you meet your heroes, they're just people. You know, they have the same. They're just people. So that's kind of cool.
I had a student go, "Hey, there's Jiao Mia, the Mia brother," and I was like, so. They're here at every single one of these, and so are the other ones. Yeah. You could just warm up, and they're right there. You want to bother them for a photo? Go for it. I don't, man. Right, yeah. I don't. Like, they're like, it's probably like, hey, you want to take a photo? Like, I do with like a 15-year-old. Yeah. It's like, hey, but like, for as an adult, man, I'm going to see you all the time. Oh, I know you 10 years now. I want a group photo with you and Nava. Yeah. Or you and I took a group photo with like Sean Downey, Andrew Gardner. Yeah. Some of their dudes.
Oh, I saw that one. Yes. I was
like, dude,
that was so cool.
They're like, group photo. Heck yeah, let's take it. Yeah. We should, man. We've been doing this for 20 years almost. Yeah. There'll be more than that soon.
Yeah. That's wild, dude. Yeah, that was a cool photo. Yeah. So how When you started your academy, what was your vision for it? Because it was like I'd never heard you talk about opening academy, okay? And then but you worked your butt off with the guys at Grace Fighting System, so I knew you had it in you. Yeah. And what was your vision for that? Like when you first opened?
I think some people understand my vision, and some people don't. And then later on, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense." Okay, but I worked or was a part of a lot of academies around Phoenix, and I always want to involve myself where I'm useful.
Yeah,
I got a church, different churches, and I make myself useful. Where am I best at? And so, even in society, where am I best at? And I always landed with, no one cares about some of the kids, and so they're offering an opportunity to work with ages 5 to 10. Part of me is like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
Throw footballs with them, play volleyball a day, PE. Like, I'm a PE coach at
right.
heart.
Yeah.
I had a high school football coach inspire me, you know? Anyways, my ADD took me out of focus. What was the question?
That was your vision for the academy.
So, I was in my vision. I was like, I want to offer people that take jiu-jitsu serious an opportunity.
Okay.
So, I take jiu-jitsu very serious. I think everyone takes jiu-jitsu very serious.
Yeah.
I think Gustavo did at one point the obsession, the BJJ mental coach thing.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
I think I've learned a lot from that. So I'm in the moment of obsession right now of what I do.
Yeah.
And right now I'm super motivated for next year.
Yeah.
Like, everything went perfect this year.
Yeah.
What I expected. And now next year I'm just like, man, I want to capitalize on knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And knowing now that what's going on. Because, like, the Jiu-Jitsu kids tournaments, that's been going really well for us.
Yeah.
Everything's been going really well for us. So parents expect things for the kids. And then the adults program, people expect things for that. And then the MMA program, people expect things for that. And then safety.
Yep.
And so I worked at an elementary school where safety and this and that, and being certified for CPR. What if I went to every jiu-jitsu gym in the state and told every parent, like, are they CPR trained over there at the kids program?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know.
That's a fair question.
So, even at my gym, I've been so lucky. The people that are volunteering in my kids program are military and CPR trained people. And
awesome.
Also,
yeah. Yeah.
And also doctors.
Yeah.
So I have people that do jiu-jitsu that are doctors.
Yeah.
And they're helping me with the kids program.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, CPR, they can fix your elbow. Pop your elbow second.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and those are valid questions. Like, are they CPR trained? What's their safety protocol, right? What's the protocol when somebody gets injured on the mat? Exactly. What about if somebody passes out? What's the protocol there? Most people can't answer that question. You know, they just kind of hope for the best, right?
I don't think most programs can account for that. But if you work in a school system like the colleges, like, let's say for ASU, some dude's trying to throw a seminar over there. The college wants like months in advance.
I'm sure
they want every waiver. I'm sitting here doing these for like, oh, you need my gym next week? Come on in. Why not? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Honestly, sign the waiver. Good. All right, we're good to go. Let's come on in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, people stop suing people for stupid stuff. Like,
yeah,
you walk into my home and you fell.
Right.
Not like what? Come on.
Yeah. 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 It's wild, man. It's one of those things that you don't. Honestly, when you go into, let's go really simple. You go into business and you open a jiu-jitsu academy and then you're selling T-shirts. And then you're like, oh, that's a separate license for that? Oh, interesting. Okay, so you buy that. It's like $20 or whatever. And then, like, they call in Arizona, they call it a privilege tax, right? And then when do you file your taxes, right? Beginning of the year. Yeah. Nope. You file your privilege tax in September. What? Wait, what? So I got to remember that shit? You know what I mean? But those are the little things that you don't think about that you got to put into your calendar. You got to set yourself reminders and all that stuff. Because it's not just about putting mats on the ground and then opening your doors. There's a lot more that goes into it.
A lot of people don't realize, but, like, I'm on my phone a lot.
Yeah.
And so I don't like to be.
Yeah, I know.
I've been in a relationship where, like, they were like, shut it off at 9. This is going to be a problem. And it's just like, I did it. And they were like, turn it on at 8. That's normal. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, but I fall behind.
Yeah.
I fall behind.
Yeah.
But so what I do is I inform others to do my job and do this and do that and who's in charge of this and that. And so like I had to be on the phone. And then if I remember in that moment, I got to do it now. I'm going to
Yes. You know, because we'll forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned like your ADD, because I am very ADD.
Yeah.
And like you, like I can't let it go, because I'm like, okay, if I don't answer them right now, I know me, I'm going to forget. And if I forget, I'm going to be pissed off, and then blah, 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 and then it all spirals. Right. Yeah. But yeah, so it's a balancing act, man, especially like when somebody hits you up on like Messenger and you don't check Messenger. Right. And you're like, oh, I want to come in. I got 3 kids and we want to train today. I'm like, oh, that was a week ago. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So you always have to be on your toes. You can't let your guard down.
You got email, you got Instagram, people that want to.
Yes.
Oh, I am from Kansas. I saw your 12th Street Instagram. It's like, yeah, come on in.
Come on in. Yeah, yeah.
It's a really small world.
Yeah.
And what I like to hear is I had people from other organizations go, you answered the phone first.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, like, come on in. You know, man, I love this gym. I love that I found someone like the kickboxing coach, the jiu-jitsu coach. I found you know, and if they change like their ideas, I'm like, it's okay. We'll change our hours. It's fine. Okay, we lost a few people. Let's see how we go. No, we gained a bunch of people. Good job. Like, it's working, man. Like, I'm satisfied. I like to cross train with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, knowing that like there's times where I can't just go anywhere. I'm very busy and I got to go train. Oh, there's the jiu-jitsu coach. There's as far as the kids program, I'm there.
Yeah, of course.
But I want to build it in a sense where they're getting more than they're getting.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be there, because these blues and purples may be browns and blacks by like next year.
Yeah.
And then what was the difference between this year and last year? Oh, they have more information that they can't even give the kids because they're not allowed to do those rule sets yet.
Yep.
So what's the difference? No. You know, safety is number one.
Yeah.
And so do they have a pair of eyes? They're good to go.
Yep.
And, you know, when you first open a gym, train a wrestler to do jiu-jitsu safely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if you can, those are the best people to have for, because wrestlers know injuries. Wrestlers know, you know, especially if you had a D1 or a high school wrestler that won state, like that guy can do a lot for you. He's like 4 years ahead in like mat time, tournament time,
no doubt.
And so, this guy can help me. Like, hey, you're 10 kids, shoot, teach them how to wrestle. Man, this will help me so much for the next tournament. They're set, and then I'll teach them guard for their next 6 months. You know, like perfect. Yeah, dude. So I love it.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So, how do you balance your schedule? Because I only do jiu-jitsu, and you've got striking programs, you've got wrestling programs, and your judo programs. Like, does your schedule change like weekly, or does it like, or do you have set days where you do everything? How does that work?
Again, if we change one little thing, me and you know, the other people that do jiu-jitsu are the same as me,
right? Yeah,
same as you, same as us.
Yeah,
is we require consistency.
Yes.
And if there's no consistency, then you're gonna lose me.
Yeah,
there's a gym that was open at the same time down the street from here, bro. Like, I love you, but you didn't wake up this morning.
Yes. So yeah.
So and if I'll be honest with you, if I lose my consistency, I lose my mind.
Yeah.
I will be whoever's at home with me is gonna be like, is there something wrong with you? Like, I did not roll today, or I did not like talk to anyone else about my problems. You gotta listen. No, that's and when you're rolling with someone and you're in the zone, you kind of go through that physically. Yeah. And it's almost enough to not even say a word. You drive home, and then you see someone, and you're like, reset. Yeah. You're good to go. Yeah. And it's like, what just happened? Like, I don't know. I just walked through that door. I'm good to go now.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it, man. Yeah. That's what when I didn't know that I was looking for something when I walked through the doors of the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I knew that I needed to get in shape. And we talked about that briefly. I lost a bunch of weight and got, loved the competitions and all this stuff. but I knew I wanted to get in shape. But I didn't know that I wanted a community. You know, I didn't know that I wanted like new brothers, you know, and sisters. I didn't know that I wanted like responsibility to teach others. I didn't know I wanted that. And I did. And I found it in jiu-jitsu. Like I tell people, I didn't know who I was. And then jiu-jitsu just peeled me open and it showed me who I was. And I tell people and it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu, right? It's got to be something that you're passionate about and just let it peel you open and see who you are. And you're going to love that person.
And I've avoided this, but yeah, jiu-jitsu has grown me on and off the mat.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Gustavo would say like jiu-jitsu helps you with your your own personal foundation. You know? So how you handle pressure, how you handle someone being cocky on you, like when you're rolling or so, you know what I'm saying? Like how you handle yourself when you victories, how you handle yourself. Like, I think that's the biggest thing we need to teach our youth. And so like at my kids program, I'll tell like, you remember that kid at Nationals who just ran wild, like pointing at the sky? Oh, kick you off the team. But like I told him like, you know, just kind of take it easy on that.
Yeah.
You know, just, you know, I'll throw a yellow flag. This is, I know it's not the NFL, but there should be somewhat of like humbleness in the victory.
Yeah. I think there's, you know, when the guys are at the highest level, it's very rare that, you know, obviously like a big win is a big win, but it's very rare that you don't see somebody that's like not humble in victory and defeat. And when you do, it's just like glaring. It's so like I hate to use the word disgusting, but it's so gross, right? When you notice it. So when you see the young kids doing it, that's when you're like, hey, let's not do that. Like I know, like they're still learning how to control emotions and doing all that stuff, and that's a good time to step in and be like, hey, I love that you're so competitive, and I love that you're so emotional, and this means so much to you. But let's be respectful to everybody who's come before us, you know, and has done this because it's been done before.
Have you noticed that? I don't know if like at the AZBJJF League, almost everyone's doing like 99%. I would say they'll have the kids shake the other coach's hand. Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah. Like I keep telling my kids to do that. I actually make it a part of like a curriculum. Hey guys, today we're bowing in. We're doing the whole thing.
I love it. Yeah.
Some of you are like deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
And you want to fight.
Yeah.
So like you got to really be ready to like do the whole thing. Tie your belt. Tie the other belt over the another one. Yeah.
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 So
and
like,
oh, by the way, you got 20 seconds in the middle of the match. If you got to retie 2 belts, you better get it done. And you can't freaking feel your hands anymore as your grips are shot. Yeah. Yeah. But that's a great lesson. So I did that. So I did a private lesson with one of my white belts. This guy, about Amy's age, maybe 49. And he came in and, dude, he was that dude, like, if you touched him, he fell over, you know? And he lost like 60 pounds. And he's like, I want to do a tournament. I'm like, okay, cool. So we started working towards a tournament, started doing private lessons, stuff like that. But one of the private lessons was like the start of the match. Like, walk in, shake hands. And what I was trying to tell him is like, once you've shaken hands with the referee and your competitor, it's on. Like as soon as the referee says go, you don't have to shake anymore. If he decides to shake, do it, but it's on. Like just go ahead and go. And I think that really helps, you know, because people are like, okay, yeah, and they shake, and then they're kind of looking around. Next thing you know, they're getting taken down because they're not quite sure when to start. So that's a great idea, part of the curriculum.
I'll be honest with you, like I used to compete and just show up. Just see other people do it. Mm-hmm. And then I read the rules and I was like, oh, I already know this. Well, that's because you've been doing it for 10 years. Like, oh,
yeah,
I read the rules. So I kind of knew the rules. I knew like how you're supposed to approach it and all that. I was just watching other people. But I just have to realize like when people come in through that door, I have to explain who this instructor is, why they should just do whatever he says. And then I have to go like, oh, by the way, I really want you to compete. I don't know. That wasn't even his job. That's my job. Come here.
Yeah.
By the way, I really want you to do this tournament and this tournament because it becomes this and this and this. And then you ask different questions.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, this is just blew my mind. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I think that's why we have such a good turnaround of like dedicated people wanting to do jiu-jitsu long term. You know? I think this year we didn't have as much students because in the past years when I first opened the gym, I recruited so many people through my efforts that I was like, can we let's get them all to stay forever. And so let's give them like, you know, so I'm not trying to recruit or looking for anyone. Let's just get them better. And most of them stayed. And I feel like that's now our pillars. Yeah. And so now we can take a big flow and you know, my promise to people is like self-defense when they come in.
Yes.
But after like 6 months, bro, like in jiu-jitsu or kickboxing, you can accidentally do damage to people. So I know I want to teach you and stuff, but like now you can do damage to people. Yeah. By the way, would you like to try it on people that know how to defend themselves? Oh, that's a different thing. You work security, but those people don't know what they're doing. Yeah. You go do a jiu-jitsu tournament, that guy you're trying to choke out is going to put it on you. Yeah. Because he knows what you know. Yeah. And apparently at the same time frame until you're a black belt, then it's...
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you and I both have experience with this, about accidentally doing damage to somebody and the importance of self-control. There's guys like, you know, in their young 20s that are like, oh, I'm a bouncer and, you know, I'm going to go learn MMA so I can do my bouncing job better. I think lessons in verbal judo would probably serve you better than any boxing lesson or any kickboxing lesson or any jiu-jitsu. Obviously, you need to defend yourself. I get it. Yeah, it's going to be, if somebody throws hands, you need to be able to defend yourself. But we both had experience where guys accidentally hurt somebody pretty damn bad, and it goes bad for them. So, you know, I think it's really important that we drive that point home. Like, yes, we're teaching you how to do damage as a last resort, right? What's your thought on that?
So, are you saying like if someone hurts someone in the gym? Just
no. I'm talking about like if someone is learning from you, but they're a bouncer somewhere, and they end up hurting somebody. Yeah, you know, and then they're like, oh shit. Oh yeah, I hurt the wrong guy or whatever, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's why I'm saying like we're teaching people how to do damage, but as a last resort, right? You know.
So once you learn jiu-jitsu, I have so much experience. I have stories. I bet. Like I can't even. But once you learn jiu-jitsu, and this goes to everyone who you've trained who has a blue belt. Yeah. But nothing's more dangerous than a white belt with 2 stripes and 3 stripes.
That's right.
So, because they're experimental. So, just nothing is more dangerous than taking time off and then just showing up to an open mat. Yeah. And you're like, and then you forget the other realm. There's a realm of dudes that will mess you up if you did something and they miscommunicated and go, oh, you know what you're doing? Yes. No, I just went the wrong way because I haven't been doing this for a while. I was like, man, that's not a good idea. There's guys out there that are taking this real serious, and then there's guys out there that'll, hey, man, you okay? And then you get mad because what? They're telling you how to do jiu-jitsu. Right, so, if I hear that I'm training someone and there's like a kid that's doing something, I talk to the child. I go, you know, and this goes the same to the kids that are getting bad grades for getting too much time on jiu-jitsu, choking people out, having fun. I go and I'll show up to your school. Yeah, you're crying? No, yeah. I'll show up. Your mom and dad will show up. They'll call me. Yeah. Well, I'll show up. Yeah, I'll get the whole coaching staff over here if I really care. Yeah. You know, but that kid, that changes their life. Yeah. Believe it or not. I don't know if that happened to anybody in this room or out there, but I've seen it work. I had some kids that were like good at jiu-jitsu, but at school, I found out some bad things. Yeah. Oh my goodness, no. Or you used it on the playground for self-defense. Or what I get more of, Alex, what I really get more of is parents ask me like, why didn't my kid didn't do anything about it? It's like your kid's in a realm where he just got thrown on his head by someone in jiu-jitsu class. Yeah. He was in the playground and someone shoved him and he was like, that didn't do anything to me, so I'm not going to rebel. Right. It's not worth it to my time. Yeah. Because if I throw him, I know everyone's going to get mad. Yeah. And I want to just spend time with my sister. So like my son was nervous. I was like, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't there. Yeah. But if you want him to do something, let's have a talk with him.
Yeah.
Say, no, son, like it's okay to push back and then push back with control. And obviously they're going to say that and then say, no, this is my space right here.
Yeah.
Back off. And then that's up to the parent.
Yeah.
One thing, I never interfere with a parent, how they want to raise their child.
Right.
There are great solutions without terrible ideas. There really isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the jiu-jitsu, first off, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you, man. It's that's always a little bit of a dance, right? Because there's some parents that just drop the kids off and they go do something for an hour and 15. They pick them up.
I don't mind those parents.
I don't mind them at all.
I don't.
Yeah.
At all.
And
I think jiu-jitsu is a personal sport.
Yep.
If I want to teach jiu-jitsu to someone, am I calling anyone in your family to give you permission to do it, Alec? No. So for a 5-year-old, I just need them to sign a waiver. Then they could go sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, you're grandpa, you're governor, whoever you are to this kid.
Yeah.
But this kid is now, once it crosses the mat or that door, I'm under the rest of the way.
Yeah.
As far as jiu-jitsu, blah, blah. I don't talk to him about his home life. If he wants to cry about that one day, I'm willing to listen.
Yeah, of course.
And say something I decided, but I don't do it.
Right, yeah.
Do what and talk to your mom.
Yeah.
Right? But I like that relationship a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think sometimes parents want more.
Mm.
And it's like, just try jiu-jitsu yourself.
Right.
It's just, it sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. If you have some I got some demons, bro. Like,
yeah.
When I do jiu-jitsu, it's to like keep me relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
What else makes me happy? Helping them learn jiu-jitsu because I want them to have the same opportunity as me.
Yeah.
It keeps me relaxed. If without this, I'd be working at a desk, weighing 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Probably already look 60 and be done.
Yeah, man. It's and that's important to when you're guiding those kids, and because I don't typically see people for who they are today. I kind of have a vision for them in 5 years, right? And I'm like, okay, so I have to push people. Well, I have to figure out how people want to be pushed, right? Because some people respond to, hard discipline. Some people respond to, just talking to. Some people need a lot of pats on the back. And as a coach, if you can figure that out, with like 20, 30 people, you're in business. But it's so hard. You have to be willing to put in that time, right? Yeah. And understand the kids. I'll give you an example. I have one kid, he moved to another academy, but a great kid, and I miss having him around. But he was that kid that I would tell him, I would get after him. I was like, I'm going to have to put you through a wall. Just so you understand, in my mind, I'm putting you through that wall. I'm not doing it, but I'm thinking about it. He would just laugh, right? But there was one time when I had the kids go get water, and he came up to me and he was being like, he's being himself, just a cute kid. And I was like, go get water. I said, I just need a break from you right now. That devastated him. And I talked about putting him through a wall, okay? But I was like, oh no. And I had to go talk to him. I'm like, Darby, I'm sorry, I said his name. Let's bleep that out. I said, hey kid, I'm so sorry I said that. I don't mean that, okay? Coach Alex is just having a day, that's all. But you know what I mean? It's like, I didn't realize, like, whenever like a parent, authority figure, a coach or whatever has like an emotion, the kids put it on themselves. Like, oh, this is my fault. Yeah. Isn't that wild?
So, all right, I have a story.
Let's hear it.
I've been working with special needs and behavioral preschool since 2007 and 2012 or 11 was like my last year there. Mm-hmm. And so I got to work with a psychologist for kids. And so she could literally narrate everything that child was thinking.
Wow.
What to do with them. And I was just like, my mind was blown. She's one of, at the time, the districts only had 1 or 2 psychologists for the kids.
The entire district?
So, yeah.
Whoa.
That's it. No, okay. I mean, they can call and check in, like, who's your editor?
Yeah.
They can double check. But as far as I know, and I was trained. This was the only psychologist in the state. She was in our preschool program, and I wanted to be a PE coach.
Okay.
But this was a gateway to then maybe finding scholarships to become a PE coach.
Sure, yeah.
and physical education at a high school.
Yeah.
And I want to be a football coach.
Yeah.
But because I'm competitive and I want to find that sport that that other part of my body. You know, like, oh, I feel great.
Yeah.
You know? So but for the kids program, it was very beneficial that she narrated behavioral problems, and every child was different.
Yeah, dude.
Some of them were adopted. And the parent didn't know how to deal with this kid who's been living in a home with 8 other kids who eats his food like it's a prison. I'm like, the kid was in, and I'm learning this about about life, and so I knew when I got a kid, I saw some behavior, I knew how to deal with them right away. And then another one, this one can't do jiu-jitsu. He needs like karate. Like there's something where it's just physical contact is not okay. And so
gotcha. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Safety for other people. So
yeah.
I learned like who can do jiu-jitsu safely, and I can want to help as many people as they can do jiu-jitsu safely. You know, I had people with spectrum and stuff like that, you know, like just, oh man. So I'm glad I was trained in it. So I have a safe environment for people to come on to the gym, and I'm there all the time, and I make sure people are safe. And if I'm not there, I make sure someone's taking care of it. If the guy came in and whoever, you know, so whoever wants to learn jiu-jitsu, I try to make my best, you know, saying like anybody, you know. So working at the behavioral preschool, they also taught me a lot of training programs for special needs and restrainaments at the time, how to restrain kids, and there were kids that were going through a rough time. It made my heart feel so good. So whenever my jiu-jitsu gym was like, we don't have a kids instructor, I'm like, I'm really good with kids, and I could teach them how to fight. You know? But what do I have to do with fighters? I watched the Karate Kid. I'm like, I'm working at a school district. I'm creating my own expectations, which becomes a great thing for everyone else. And so, promotions and this and that for jiu-jitsu, I don't agree with them. I want to do a different system. Something convenient for the coach who actually has students, and it's just more revenue that I don't want to put on people.
Right.
You know? So I just do my best and make the imagination for the kids. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, no, I think, and what you were talking about earlier about jiu-jitsu being an individual thing, you know, I always say that it's like the most honest form of self-expression that you could find, especially for kids. Like you can tell which kids are the more aggressive ones, which kids are the mathematical minds, which kids have the poetry mind. You know what I mean? Just by the way they train and how they roll, like you can tell a lot. I think from anybody, not just kids.
Sometimes there's a parent who does watch class, and she or he does realize like their kid has a gift or whatever. But some parents who don't see enough results, like everyone else, 90% of my kids take first, second, third. Like it's okay. After they're age 10, it's a little bit harder.
Of course.
But if I had them from 5 to 8, results, great. Don't worry about it. But as they get older, the kid has other things going on in his life and just doesn't have the time to catch up to but let them enjoy their journey that still is there for them. And there is a journey.
Yeah.
When they all turn 15, the consistency, whatever they're built, might be a huge boost. Like I tell them to wait. If your kid's not winning right now, it's okay.
Yeah.
Wait till they're 15. If they still like it, keep them in it.
Yeah.
They still like, hey, I'm losing a lot. Everyone's getting promoted. Oh, okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
You just late bloomer. And when that time comes, it'll, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I spent a lot of time in my belts, Alex, and I guess no one else had to, and maybe most people wouldn't do it if they had to. And I switched a lot of teams. Mm-hmm. I wanted to try learning like what Phoenix, Arizona had to offer for me. And then I found my nesting home out in California. Yeah. They had 15 black belts, 20 black belts, and they just and I was just a different person. Yeah. And not being beat 15, 20 times a day in the morning and then at night was just like, what am I to think? And so when I'm I'm a growing person when I'm in a uncomfortable position. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm heavy. Not enough heavyweights are doing it. So my gym has a lot of heavyweights. Yeah. Having Adrian now though, like he's not a kid anymore. Yeah. He's an adult. Yeah. He's 230, just powerful.
Do you think Adrian could get to like under 200 and compete? Because he would be deadly, dude.
When he was 185, he beat everyone who's anyone right now.
I bet.
Anyone who's 185 right now knows Adrian S.
Yeah.
And so, like, I know Flow Grappling's great and all these things, organizations, they do a good job. But there are people that are better than the people they are advertising.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, they don't know if this guy even wants to invest in them because they don't invest in, So there are grapplers out there, probably not just him, that are super good.
Yeah.
Just they need to be incentivized.
Sure. Yes.
Man, if I told every person in the world how much I spent on going to Chicago Open this year, Tijuana.
Yeah, dude.
Just all over. Like, I got to go to Colorado. I got to go to Texas, Fort Worth for Pans. I got to go to Nogi Worlds in Vegas. Vegas is easy. Please just keep doing them in Vegas.
Vegas is it's so convenient. The airport is awful. Oh, yeah. I hate the Vegas airport.
I was about the airport back.
Gross. Huh?
I was about the airport back from Vegas Nogi. But I got to ride back and just got to coach kids at the Kids Cup.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, okay, I made it for this too.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, but what people don't understand is like especially when you're coming up and you want to compete, dude, I think at blue belt and purple belt. Yeah, I think we did like 12 tournaments one year and then 10 tournaments another year, went to New York, and that's all out of our pocket. That's just out of passion.
I skipped the New York trip. Adrian went to the New York trip for ADCC East Coast, and I was like, I want to. It seems kind of sketchy, though. Okay, going underground. New York is awesome. People are like, I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know.
The tournament was at City College, New York, CCNY. That's in Harlem. And we were there like 2 days just for the tournament. So we had our backpacks, and all our crap in it, sweaty geese and shit. And we were walking down towards, we don't know where we're walking. We just started walking. We were looking for a place to eat. And, it's dark. It's after the tournament. And like, well, we should just ask somebody, right? And so we asked these guys, like typical, like what you would think New York would be, right? These guys, they're on a stoop and they're drinking and smoking weed. And we're like, hey, where's a good place to eat? And they pointed us, like, go around the corner here, Broadway, make a right, whatever. Yeah. He goes, it's a little, like a brick building, and you'll see the place. I can't remember the name of the place. It was great. The place was awesome. They had a DJ like up on this booth because it was like so small, so skinny, but it was like 3 stories up, right? But it was open, and food was great, drinks were great. And then we got on the subway, so we went from that's like Upper Manhattan. We went down to Times Square, and anyway, we had some of the best Greek food I've ever had in my life at 3 a.m. off a truck.
Next year, every IBJJF tournament I do, I'm just going to go up a weight class. I'm sorry. I got to come to if I go to Vegas, I want to have the buffet before the day of and the day after. Yeah, man. I'll go 2 weight classes. I don't care no more. Go to Texas. They got the best steaks.
Yeah, dude.
Man, everywhere I went, man, it was just so good. I didn't want to miss out.
Yeah.
Like, I just get better at being heavy jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. One place I have no desire to go, I hate to say this, I have no desire to go to Florida. I don't know why.
Never been.
I don't know, man.
How long is the flight?
It's at least as long as New York.
No, I can't do it. 4 hours to Chicago was like, I'm good.
Bro. And it was cold when you went, huh?
You know what?
Pretty recent. No, not bad.
Chicago, it was like in the summertime here, but over there it was like, it was not bad.
Okay, yeah. Chicago's a cool town, though. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, people, it gets a bad rep because there's a lot of murders there, but it's pretty confined to one area. Yeah. You go downtown. I've never been messed with like downtown.
I heard Tijuana. I heard wherever I go, Rocky Point, Chicago. Hey,
be careful.
I go, well, the thing is, I'm not up to no good.
Right,
I'm not going to be shot in the corner.
Right.
I'm going to go eat at that restaurant. Go back to my hotel. Trust me, I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, whenever we go to Mexico, people are like, "Oh, are you ever afraid?" I'm like, no, because I know where I'm going, and I don't go anywhere where I don't know where I'm going. I don't go exploring. You know what I mean? That's just a stupid idea. So, I mean, if you're on a resort, stay on the resort. But we take our trailer out there. And we stay in like a 3-mile radius of that trailer.
You can get in a lot of trouble in Phoenix, too.
Yes, you can. Go to Southside Phoenix, see what happens. Yeah.
That's where I grew up.
Yeah. Oh, did you really?
Yeah. I'm very multicultural. I grew up in South Phoenix.
Yeah.
I grew up like a kid, just my family's like Hispanic, mom's now American citizen, but back then, well, no one was, you know?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. If you're Hispanic back in the day, we all like had our aunts stay with us.
Oh yeah, dude.
Saying? Like,
yes,
I'm very multicultural.
Yeah,
I
dude.
never slept on a bed. My aunts would, my cousins, my everything. Here you go. Here's my bed.
Yeah,
I would sleep on the floor. What is a house?
Yeah.
And so like that's why like I live the way I do.
Yeah.
And it's convenient for jiu-jitsu. It's just everything in my life is like, hey, help this sport out real quick.
Yeah.
This is great for people.
Yeah.
Like, help them out. Just stay over here. God's blessed me so much, man. There'd be times where like it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. And then like someone just helps you and you're like, oh, jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
I'm doing some good service to the community.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both my parents were born in Mexico. Both my brothers were born in Mexico. I was the first one in my family to be born in the States. So like all of my family, like, my dad's passed away, but my mom, my brothers, they're naturalized citizens. So yeah, we grew up the same way, man. Like big families. I remember like as a kid, I had so many cousins, like there were never outsiders at a birthday party. It was all family all the time because there was just so many of us. There's no room to invite people, you know what I mean? And I remember when I was in the 6th grade, this kid in my class hands me a invitation to his birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, do I bring my mom? Like, how does this work? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I brought it to my mom, like, hey, this, I don't know what, and she's like, yeah, well, American families aren't like ours. Like they're not giant. And, so they invite other people. They invite strangers to their home to have a big party. I'm like, what?
I absolutely love watching the kids exchange the whole birthday card thing.
Yeah.
At the gym. This one boy picked everybody that won gold at grade. I was like, dude, you got the whole squad over there. So I would show up for a photo too. Like, hey, we at the party now.
Oh my God, that's funny, dude. Yeah.
They love Pokemon now.
Do they? Yeah.
Dude, today, I don't know when yours, everyone's was this week or this month or next week.
Yeah.
Is promotions.
Yeah.
And this year for kids, I dropped the stripes thing. I just did a couple belts, but I told them bring your Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And they all brought them, and the dads brought them, and I'm looking at their cards like, man, I know where area you're from what your Pokemon cards
no way.
Like. Yeah, like, this is crazy. Like, did you ever have Pokemon?
Nope,
no,
never.
You were old.
I'm older than that.
You're
Yeah,
older than me.
I'm 51.
So I'm 35.
Yeah.
So you started jiu-jitsu. How old are you?
I didn't start jiu-jitsu until I was 40.
40.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to die of a heart attack. I wanted to get in shape. Yeah.
There's a lot of dudes these days that that one guy heavyweight, he tore his pec. Now he's back in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's like really good.
Yeah.
I mean, like for some that like that, and you come up and do so good, like that's huge.
Yeah. I didn't like I said, man. I had a corporate job, and I was doing my thing, but I just fell in love with this, man. Yeah. It's just like there's no denying like it made me a better person. Yeah, I probably would not be as happy as I am today if it weren't for jiu-jitsu, because it just showed me how to be a better person.
Here's the thing. Jiu-jitsu gave me a zen, right? Like everyone got that whole like good feeling, whatever. There's another one that comes in. And I feel like it's like when you're like, I think when I was a purple belt, I really figured out, and it was like my 12th year. So anyways, it doesn't matter what belt you are.
Right, yeah.
You're on your 12th year and you're rolling with someone and you're exhausted, but you did 5 or 10 minutes straight of your movements while they're defending, and you're just moving and you just were breathing right, but you're not tired, but you're not exhausted, but you feel like you did a deep stretch and you feel really good, and you were in the moment. Man, like that's jiu-jitsu. And so these whites, these blue, these purple belts these days, after 4 or 5 years of knowledge, that's great. But to go through a zen, you have to have people that like you helped become good, or
100%
at a higher level for you to get to that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know. I expect my coach to do all that. No. You kind of have to tell someone what makes you roll better.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, when you do that move, you could see I spaz. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well, one thing I remember about you when you and I were teammates is you had to drive a long way to get to Nava's. So I remember that. And I remember Nava would yell at you so much because like you would come in and it's like Thursday before a Saturday tournament. And he's like, first, I remember he said, "Oh, I just want you drilling. I don't want you getting hurt," and blah, 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 blah. And then we start rolling, and he's like, "This is the last day of hard training." Like, you just told the dude to drill, and now it's like last day of hard training. He would just put people on you, right? Yeah. But then you would, I mean, I remember we were talking about this last night at the Christmas party. We would be like a sopping pile of sweat, just like gi drenched, and you're just the mat's wet, the walls are fogged up, and he's going, "One more round." I'm like, it's 9:15, dude. I gotta go home.
I haven't had sessions like that often. It's crazy to do this, but like sometimes I want to walk into the gym, at 12th Street and just go, "Guys, I don't think you know this about me, but why don't you all just Shark Tank just Shark Tank me for 2 hours?"
Yeah,
I haven't asked that. It's just it requires someone to watch the door.
Yes, of course.
It requires someone to watch their safety.
Yeah.
It requires someone to exchange new people for me. It requires them all to stay till like 2 hours.
Right.
And I feel bad, but back then for Paul to be able to give me dudes after dudes after dudes, I was like, that's what I need, and I could do it. I could do it, and we were going to tournaments, and I had some mental like I can't pull the triggers on some of these guys. I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't feel the same. I'm just not in the zone. And and then it took a while, man. In high school I was special needs. I was these whatever they said I was, so reading was difficult. Yeah. And so if you read to me, I'm fine.
Gotcha.
And then I can read statistics, and I like math. Yeah. And I excelled in that, but I didn't do well with reading. Yeah. And that really held me back in school and being eligible. And I still put that effort in though, and it was exhausting. Yeah. But jiu-jitsu is also very exhausting for me to learn. Yeah. Sometimes there's a new move. Yeah, you have no idea, but I watched it 60 times before we started class. Just because I knew by the time they teach it, I'm going to be like, I just need like 6 chances and then I'll get it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how I teach kids class. I'm like, I expect all of them to have the same issues as I do. And it sucks, but my full developing brain is like a 5th grader. Yeah. And I never wanted that to limit me from owning a business. Right. So sometimes people don't understand me and they think I'm fully functional, but it's like, I'm still like caveman.
Man. But I think that's a good thing, because you can, like, if a kid is struggling, you can communicate with them, be like, "Hey man, I struggle too." And you can share that story with them and they'll feel better.
There's a lot of kids on my team. Yeah. So I'm very capable of helping them with how I feel, how I view that, and then I'm really good at that. Yeah. And then they're like, I have my goddaughter that comes to my gym, and she talks to me about like, "Oh, hey man, life is crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, you got a lot of pressure. Yeah. You're the mother of a doctor. You're a mother of a professor." Yeah. My sister's she's like educated up to the doctor, GCU professor. Like, man, dude, like she's like super smart.
No kidding. That's cool.
Education was like. So as jiu-jitsu though, I'm that's my thing. Yeah. That's her thing. Like, respect to her though. Like, that's what society is paying for. They pay good for that. What I do, I'm a PE coach making about that amount. Yeah. That's it.
Right. Right.
Society doesn't pay teachers that well. Right. It's like,
Isn't that weird? Like it's probably like it's a pretty critical position to be in, like for kids' development, which is our future. Our future leaders are depending on it, and they don't pay well.
I found some good doctors and people that teach kids. These are people that are like in high-end positions, and I got agreement with them to help me with what we do at our gym.
Oh, wow,
and
cool.
So I really have a lot of respect for them. When they can't make it, I got another doctor ready to cover for that day. Yeah. And the thing is, they have life experience. They understand jiu-jitsu and they want to help the kid, and they're like, "Hey, what do you want me to work on with them?" Dude, let's do some spider guard, but explain it at like the lamest term you can. They're 5. Yeah. And then go drag something with fingers. Yeah. So they can develop the grips.
100%.
Because that's their sport. Yeah. And then tell them to stretch because that's important too. And then, dude, that's good, But I always recommend tumbling soccer to kids. Like, hey man, They're going to do some things that in wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a wrestling club nearby. Go do it.
Go do it.
I'm losing what? No, you're paying how much? That's a lot. I'm charging a lot less at this gym.
Yeah.
And they're learning judo, jujitsu. Like I have striking at my gym.
Wow.
If they want to do jujitsu on Wednesdays, or if they want to do Muay Thai, or MMA, and those instructors are highly just good trained people.
Yeah.
Military people.
Yeah.
They're teaching your kid how to defend themselves. And then I haven't had an incident.
Nice.
4 years.
Nice. Yeah.
They'll turn 16. Life will take them in a direction, and I will be there as promised. I want everyone to want to go do worlds, but nothing breaks my heart more than it doesn't break my heart. It makes me happy to see them go into the military.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have go into the military like every year?
Yeah.
That are 15, 16. That jiu-jitsu guided them and strengthened them for that opportunity. And then now they have jiu-jitsu tournaments. And they're a little extreme. Please let me help you, military, like Army. I can help you kind of formulate something where you're not paying for their injuries that's being caused. But I've been watching some videos slamming. I get the combat part, but your guys will get more repetition.
Yeah.
And then you can just yell at them and go, hey, you would just get slammed. You're out.
Yeah.
It's just tournaments.
Yeah.
And then if you make them do an actual slam event, just pick 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
Not the entire staff, you know. But I like seeing society do their thing with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I just, please, have a professional, come in. Police officers, you just need a professional.
Yeah.
I train with some bad mofos. Because I'm training you, and kids doesn't make it different,
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can train a kid and an officer, and there shouldn't be like the officer go, oh, you're just a kid's trainer.
Right.
No, bro, I'm just teaching you how to choke someone out.
Yeah.
That kid knows more than you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. There's some kids that are, so freaking good, and they're just, they're up and comers, and if you guide them right, if you mentor them right, they could do something with jiu-jitsu or not. Maybe they just learn lessons in jiu-jitsu that they apply to other stuff, right? But my nephew Jack, he's going to be on the podcast next week, and we're going to talk about that. Like, he did jiu-jitsu at a young age, and he wore your gi when you did the 60-40 gi. He wore your gi. Yeah.
I miss 60-40.
Yeah,
honestly, like I've seen some gis out there still, and I'm just like, man, I enjoyed. My idea behind it was that. When I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was missing the mental part. When I met Gustavo and the BJJ mental coach thing, I started thinking about like preparation, things that hold you down. Balloon. I told him like, I like the balloon thing.
Yeah.
Someone's deflating your balloon. You know what I'm saying? Your balloon's flying high, Don't let anyone pull your balloon down. So it's just like, to me, I was just like, oh, man, I'm letting a lot of things pull me down, man. I got to let go of some things. Yeah. And then I can focus. Jiu-jitsu changes you. Now you're hanging out with people that like spend more time like working out and staying healthy. And that's always good for you anyways.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Some other people need to grow out and be like, oh, those things that I do that don't benefit jiu-jitsu, it's kind of like my maturity. Yeah. So I had to grow up on the mat and off the mat.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you still doing the 60-40 thing, or you're completely out?
So, man, when you wanna give the people what they want, you want to give them the best gi. You want to give them the best rash guard. You want to give them the best style. You want to give them the best like. I'm so busy with 12th Street. Yeah. Just putting 12th Street stuff on and just trying to get some of those guys to wear it. I'm so invested in that. Yeah. I don't have any money for 64. Right. I don't even have money for 12th Street at that time.
Right. Yeah.
I just got another guy to do jiu-jitsu, and I tell, hey, get a gi for $40 on Amazon.
Yeah.
I want to do you a favor for your first year.
I do that.
For your first year, I don't need you to buy a $200 or $150 gi from me, or $100, whatever. I want you to get 3 of them for $100.
Yeah.
On eBay. Some dude just quit.
Right.
You can get 3 or 4 gis. You can go on any website, get a bunch of free stuff. Just do that. And then if you are competing, if you want to do some stuff and you ask me, and you're like, hey, I want to wear 12th Street. Here you go. Yeah. Hey, but it takes organization. Oh, hey, make stuff. Hey, honestly, bro, I'm going to make stuff and hold it. Like,
I know,
you know,
where are you going to put it? And then how do you, it's tough.
And then I put it out and people just grab it. I'm like, oh, hey, where did everything go? So like, you gotta be careful, like, you know, and it's not anyone being mean. It's just like, oops. Like, oh, I didn't even think, I meant to pay you. And there's no system. Like,
right.
So it requires so much effort. I just want people to come in, do whatever they want. Hey, I got a guy, Sweet Pea will stamp you.
Yeah.
Go to Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea, you know who he is?
No, who's that?
Oh, man. Josh Guerrero over at Refuge has a really good student. I met him at Madrid's and at Grace Fighting Systems.
Okay.
His name is Michael, Ayala. He goes by Sweet Pea.
Okay.
He's got a really good like stamping company and
really?
It's in North Phoenix.
What do you mean stamping? Like a heat press?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He'll make you T-shirts, rash, everything, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like I'll bring like 10 gis. He'll stamp them for me, and I'll just bring them back to the gym for like, dude, such a good price.
Yeah.
I don't even charge anyone to wear it twice. Dude, it's a free
advertising. Yeah.
I can't charge people.
Yeah, I hear you.
When I used to buy stuff, I used to give it out for free. I'm like, I just spent $2,000 on $4,000 on this. Like,
man.
And then you want your coaches wearing it too.
Yeah,
so you give it out, you know.
Of course,
so, but right now the gym needs a more mat space, more this.
Yeah.
The room next door became available. Take it.
Take it.
You know,
just
so I took
take it.
Yeah,
Don't think.
Put all the Muay Thai guys in there.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So now I have a bunch of space for the Jiu-Jitsu program.
I like it.
So,
And do you have that place? Did you put mats down for the Muay Thai space?
I have an investor. Listen, I can own out 12th Street by myself.
Yeah,
but there are times where people are like, "Hey, let me be."
Sure. Yeah.
Majority owner. We're like, well, okay, what do you have to offer? I'll buy you new mats whenever you need them. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'm like, okay, what do you get? Yeah, you're probably never gonna profit, Jose.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't profited in ever. So sure.
Yeah.
And lately he's been like, you want another guy to profit more on you? Or like, I was like, dude, I got nobody else.
Yeah.
He's like, I can sign 12th Street all over to you. And I'm like, would COVID happen? $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month. It was him.
Yeah.
The community almost didn't have a jiu-jitsu gym there for like, I know there's now other gyms. Mm-hmm. I'm not a hater.
No, I hear you. Man, yeah.
Open your gym next door to mine.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just help as many kids as you can.
Yeah, yeah.
You have only adults. I might hate you.
Yeah.
I might be like, hey, man, first build a gym around the kids. And then whatever you're supporting within the kids opens more space for the adults.
Yeah.
If the kids get the space first. Mm-hmm. And then for that hour of the day, they're gone.
Yeah.
The morning and night, it's all yours.
Yeah.
But first, make sure the kids are having their space.
Yeah.
They're available 1 hour a day after school. Then they go home Monday through Friday. That's it. That's tradition.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents love it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Hey, beat them up. Send them home to me. I'm like, all right, cool. How's your kids program? How do you like it, man?
I love it. It's growing, and it's a lot of work, man. But so it's growing, but I'm growing the staff like a step ahead of the kids. So what I want is like a 5-to-1 ratio, coach to student.
Hard. Yeah.
It's hard. So right now we're probably 3-to-1, on the mats. But like as we get more students, I'm going to get another coach. And as the students grow, I'm going to grow, because I don't want to get into a position where I got, 30 kids on the mat and 2 coaches.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
You got to have 6 at least. And, just, me as a head coach and a bunch of assistant coaches, because I don't want the hardest thing for me is letting kids fall behind. You know what I mean? Because you don't have the time to dedicate to each one individually. Yeah. So I gotta build a system. I gotta teach my coaches how to teach so that they can communicate properly to the kids at their level, like you said, at the lowest level possible. Yeah. And then I just think that just builds that's just a breeding ground for great things to come. And then when the kids get old enough, maybe they want to be assistant coaches, right? They go through our system and they kind of give back in that way. And that's kind of the long-term vision, but yeah, I want to breed an environment where kids are learning self-defense in a playful manner, and they're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh man. For the kids program, man, I've taken it to levels where, like, if my ratios are perfect, I have about 12 girls in my jiu-jitsu program for kids. Nice. At times. And I take in account all my female coaches and go, you're taking time off the boys, and I'm going to put you towards the girls only. And I want more ratio per coach. And I want coaches rolling with the kids. Yeah. Because, like, they have control and proper, like, technique for the kids to see and sequences. Yep. So they can understand jiu-jitsu better. Yep. And so, like, I've had so many coaches. I've been so blessed. Like, oh, man, like, I love North Phoenix. Yeah. When I moved in, I recruited so many good people. I was like, man, these are genuine people. Yeah, that's cool. And I was so, like, I think my first 3 years I was packed. Now, people moved away, but I didn't search for more and more. I was just like, I want people word of mouth to come in. I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to focus on myself. Yeah. And then just let people come. Hey, your cousin heard about it. It's literally a closed club, but you can join us. But right now, well, what do you guys do for basics? Like, whatever he teaches Monday through Friday. And then we roll after, and he'll do situationals with you. Adrian is we went from the traditional, like, you run and you do this and you do the workout, to, like, hey, come sit down. We got some routines for you. We got this, we have that. Okay. You want to get workout in? Okay, look. Ready? Time to roll with us. Yeah. All right. There's your workout. Okay. Yeah. You wanna learn some short little rolls? Well, Jose will take care of that on this. That's okay. But as far as, like, hey, man, he teaches you a good arm bar, teaches you good his single leg eccentrics and no gi class. His gi to no gi format is so good. I just kind of come in. If I teach, I do things differently. Yeah. It's an old school way. Right. Yeah. And not everyone wants to do that. Right. But these 25-year-olds these days, they're like, I like this class. Yeah. And it's because it's chill. Yeah. And I'm getting just as good as anyone you're training over there. Yeah. And it's, like, great. I love it. Yeah. I love it, man. That's cool, man. When you had Sinceros, how did you like it? He's an exceptional coach. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and he backs it up in competition. So he never taught us anything that he didn't use himself. So he was always, like, he was very good communicator for a kid his age, very good communicator. What I expect from the kids program when I have a coach, sometimes it's like, what do you guys want to go over? What's the best thing you can do? Yeah. And start with the beginning with the group that shows up. Yeah. If it's a different group, think of, like, later moves. If it's someone you're consistent with and then you've had them for 10 years, okay, I could give you some criteria. Yeah. Let's go over section 5. But no. What are you good at and they don't know? Go for it. I want you to go. 100%. And if some of them knows how to do it, like Sincero, if he showed up to my gym, I'd be like, hey, man, I want you to show this routine. I've seen you do it. Yeah. Let's just start from there. Yeah. Then after that, do whatever you want to do. Yeah. Do whatever you think they should know and make it all about you. Go for it. Yeah, absolutely. That's what drew me into, like, the coaching staff I have. I'm like, oh, you're legit. Yeah. Yeah, I want you to work. Dude, can I afford you? Can the gym afford you? Can the community afford you? Go for it. Yeah. I will organize that. If they can't, then I'll figure it out. Yeah. And then I'll take a risk. Yeah, absolutely. I'll put my name on the line. I will pay you. I will take care of you. Yeah. So we have one of the best jiu-jitsu, in my eyes, coaches who will fulfill anyone's needs. That's so cool. There are guys that are, like, just beginning. Okay, cool. Someone moved into town and was like, hey, Adrian, he's right there. Yeah. In a small setting. How could you not get the information? Yeah. There it is. And then same with the Muay Thai coach. Yeah. Everything's good. Yeah. And then they want to do MMA. That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd like to get Adrian on the show sometime if he. Oh, dude, if you just call him, he'll say, like, "Tell me the day." You know, nice. Don't you mess with his chest day though. Oh, really? He has a chest day. He is a chess master. Oh, is he really? Oh, dude, he's just good. Yeah. And when I played, one time during COVID, I was so bored. I was like, oh man, I was messaging him like, no, the gym's still closed. I'm sad. Hey, you want to play chess? I want to see how good you're. And you just just checkmated me after 10 seconds. And
wow.
I started to like really mess around with the board to kind of make him like,
make him think a little bit
online. Yeah. And then he was like, oh, you're doing nothing. I was like, say when we roll. I'll roll with him in legs. And, I got my 50-50, which just puts me in a bad position in Nogi. So I've evolved a lot in my game and my self-control through, heel hooks are not something to mess with.
No.
Some people kind of like, they want that round, but you have to ask your partner these days, like, hey, how efficient are you at attacking legs? Because, and also how flexible are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I go to yoga 10 times a week. Oh, I can do anything to you.
Yeah.
And we would never have any drama.
Right.
But if you are someone who's unflexible, you're 40 or 35, or like me, like I think that's very critical. Like you have to almost go, okay, what's the proof behind it? Okay, well, why does the IBJJF allow heel hooks for adult and not Masters 1?
Well, because they're much younger, and they have the knee dexterity and flexibility.
I'm a Masters 1 going into Masters 2 soon. I've dealt with heel hooks for a while.
Yeah.
So I believe that the wave of adult to Masters 1 rules will follow.
Yeah. I think
as the generation of, I looking at Masters 1, I'm like, there's Dominic Bell. There's these guys are fucking good. Aaron Wilson's there. I'm like, we're all 30-something years old.
Kushino's
Adrian qualified.
Kushino's like a Masters 2, I think.
And they're starting to show up.
Yeah.
And so, like, do you negate certain rules for them? And I believe that the IBJJF in the next year will be like, Masters 1 can now do hooks.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And then years will go by, Masters 2, Masters 3, and then they'll just grant it and just say, hey, Masters 5 guys are not, or Master 4 guys, Master 3 guys, they're not delusional. They know that if they allow it in Masters 1, it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And so they're going to prepare for, there was a point where you didn't want to learn Barambolos. I didn't. Yeah. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
And now I'm doing heel hooks, and now I'm doing this. And I'm like, these are just moves I'm not.
Yeah.
I like the traditional this and that.
Yeah.
But okay.
I always joke, like when somebody attacks the legs, I'm like, oh, so you can't pass my guard, huh?
So Z-guard's the newest thing.
Yeah.
And it's just an aggressive 50-50 for me.
That's all it is, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm in a 50-50. Now I'm going to go back here and be very mean to you. I'm so sorry. I hope you know how to turn your hips in. I hope you know. And it's like, what belt rank should I be like? Some white belts know as much as blues. Some blues have all the DVDs for Gordon Ryan. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you knew I was hurting you.
Yeah. Well, I think like Eddie Bravo said it, like, he teaches people like day one, they're learning, leg entanglements and knee bars and heel hooks and toe holds. Yeah. And I think he's right. Like if you look at injuries in combat sports, a lot of them, I would say the majority are wrestling injuries.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
If Eddie Bravo listens to your podcast, I would like to say I'm very sorry I couldn't make 185. But I did tell the lady, like, listen, it's Christmas time. I just found out I don't have a hernia.
Yeah.
I want to fight, but I'm going to be 205, 210. Honestly, no one's called me for anything, so I'm like 220 right now. Like,
what's your walk around? What's your walk around? Like in shape walk around, like you're not cutting.
Okay, if I have a knee injury, which I do right now, I'm 220, 230.
Yeah.
If I'm in a 3-month, 4-month consistency, no injuries, I could be up down to 205, 200. And then if I am preparing for a big event, I cut out every sugar imaginable, and my body goes, oh, Jose, you're 190.
No kidding.
And
you can hit.
Wow. Yeah, walking. So now I have abs. Okay, there you go, 190.
Yeah.
But to get to 180, 185,
bro,
it is like you eat proportions like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And you can still perform. You feel a little like I feel good. I feel strong with it. If I can grab your ankle at 185 and tweak and just go ham on it.
Yeah.
Like my little bony muscular body can get lots of leverage.
Yeah.
So it is a good weight class for me. It is for everyone else. Yeah. It is like 40 pounds.
That's a lot of weight, dude. Yeah. My walk around right now is like 184, 185. I get down to about 176 when I'm competing. So about 9 pound difference. And, but I feel it.
Does that show it's loading?
Oh, what's going on here?
It just happened just now.
Oh, let me see.
How long have we been on?
It goes by quick,
spend
dude.
your whole day. I talk a lot.
No, dude,
especially
I love it.
If I have a beer, I'm like, I talk. I have so much, like, you know, I just want to help the kids community. I want to help the adults community, the MMA community.
Yeah.
I've commentated for local fights, and I'm just like, you guys have to really be safe with the career you're choosing. You have students who will go, hey, I came here for MMA, but I'm doing jiu-jitsu, but I love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
What do you think about MMA?
What do I think about MMA?
What do you tell them? Like, hey, you think I should do this and then fight MMA? Or
here's what I tell people about MMA. Because if you look at the sport of mixed martial arts, the only comparison I can make, because I never did MMA. I've never been a cage fighter, nothing like that. But I did triathlon. And here's the connection between the two. When I did triathlon, I did it at the highest level possible for me. Okay? I was never better than the worst person to finish at a pro level, right? I mean, never. When you get to a professional level in triathlon, you're a world-class swimmer, you're a world-class cyclist, and you're a world-class runner. Okay? What does that mean? That means, like, where I'm running like a 20 to 23 minute, 5K, they're running 14 or 15, right? That's a lot of time. That's way fast. So if you look at MMA, you could have fun doing it, right? Or if you decide to fight, okay, are you willing to put in the time? Or have you put in the time already to be a world-class wrestler, a world-class boxer, a world-class, Muay Thai fighter, a world-class jiu-jitsu player? If the answer is no, then you have no business doing MMA. That's my opinion. I know take it for what it's worth, but I could never compete at a high level in triathlon because I wasn't a world-class anything, right? And my high school didn't have a wrestling team. So I didn't have that exposure. So all of the grappling that I learned after 40 years old, right? So if somebody's coming in, they're 25, 24 years old, and they're like, yeah, I want to get into MMA. All right, so what's your background? Well, I did a little wrestling in high school. Okay, so you're so far behind right now, you have no idea how far behind you are. Because there's a kid throwing hands like a world-class boxer at 16. You know what I mean? And there's a kid that same kid is he's about to get his blue belt in jiu-jitsu because he's been training since he was 4. I'm sorry, man. You don't belong. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Okay, so I have to say something about high school.
Yeah,
I got very lucky. I had the best wrestling coach in my mind. I think he's still the wrestling coach.
What's his name?
Brian Smith.
Okay.
He was the coach at Moon Valley.
Oh, okay.
I think he's still there. They called him the Whistler. He used to whistle. Great character, great guy. There was a football coach named Roger Britson, and then there was some bad dudes on the team.
Yeah.
Man. Like I don't know what's going on. But in 2005, like the football team went undefeated.
Wow.
I have a ring. It's on my keychain. It's like it's beautiful to look at.
State champ?
Dude, yeah, they just dominate. I say they, but I was a part of the team. I got a ring, and like I was transferred from JV to varsity for my junior year. But
nice.
I was like the last one in, and
that's okay.
And the thing is, like I was always the last one in about this big team.
Yeah,
and I would have nightmares about never starting for this great team, but it was a great team.
It was a great team, yeah.
And the senior year, I got to just be on the practice squad. Man, I popped my ankle, never got on the field. We went 0-14. It was a terrible season.
Yeah,
our football coach goes, "Hey, Jose, look. He's already been running us, man. He's pissed off. It's my senior year. And I love him for this. His name's Roger Britson. A lot of people have good, bad feelings about whatever. The dude came up to me and goes, the wrestling coach needs people in the wrestling room. You need to go in there. And he's just a big, gigantic man. And I was just like, I looked up to him a lot. And I was like, I'll do whatever you say. We had a shitty season. Yeah. And it wasn't my fault. It was like we lost our quarterback, everything. Back when we were in the state championship team, they used to use me for the onside kick.
Oh, no kidding.
You know what that is?
Yeah, I know what an onside kick is. Yeah.
Guess who gets the ball? I do. Guess who ran away from the ball? They did.
Yeah.
You know who I am? I'm this dude who's like, I want to prove myself.
Yeah.
And I got lit up.
Yeah.
Hey, I would get hit by the best linebacker we had. 2 of them. One of them was a wrestler, state champ.
Oh my God.
So when he hit me, he knew where he was going to get me.
Yeah.
So my shoulders were beat up. Everything was beat up. I was like, all right, I'll go in there, And then I went in there, man. And my home life was kind of crazy. Your parents go through stuff.
Of course.
They're just young adults going through life,
Yeah.
They're the best thing in my life now. But back then it was just like they were figuring out life.
Yeah, of course.
The new world, becoming American citizens, having independence. It was just great, So I'm happy, my parents are together still. Everything's good. But at the time you're going through, like, your parents go to like a divorce. What?
Oh,
so you start, like, your brother's acting out. Like, you're like, hey, everyone, chill. Like, everything's cool. Things happen. And then I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm living with my mom in Glendale. Moon Valley's in Cactus. I'm taking the bus and to wrestling. My dad's not available. Like, he's busy. Like, he's got to maintain a home that, like, then she moves, everything's back together.
Yeah.
But, like, everyone's doing their thing. So I'm sitting there going to wrestling, letting out the fumes. It feels good. It's a de-stressor. It's a good, close family. One of the dudes is about to get his black belt that was in high school with me. Like,
no
it's a
kidding.
beautiful story, man.
So cool.
So yeah, man, wrestling in high school is great.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's awesome. But so tell me about when the coach told you, hey, they need people in the wrestling room. What was your first day of wrestling like?
Okay, so he goes, you got to go in there. And I'm like, we already lost the football season. I went from 245 for football season, where it's good to be heavy.
Yeah.
As a lineman.
Yeah.
To I'm 215 because he's been making us run sprints all season. Sisto's class was the same football coach. So I lost a bunch of weight. I'm 215. I'm probably in great shape.
Yeah.
The cafeteria opened up this deli area. So I'm eating tuna sandwiches,
crushing food,
drinking water, not soda.
Okay.
Losing weight, getting super strong out of nowhere, healthy.
Yeah.
And then getting good attention. And then I'm in the wrestling team. I beat one guy, and they're like, you're the 215 varsity guy.
No way.
They had the state champion from like the lowest weight class up until 189.
Wow. So
I could have made 189. They told me back then I could be 179 through the P test and all that.
Yep.
So I have a natural 5'8". I should be 170, 175.
Fair. Yeah.
So
even as muscular as you are?
Then there was a story where I lifted weights.
Okay,
I was
gotcha.
20,
okay.
Bench 600 pounds.
Jesus.
Then I found jiu-jitsu, and I was like, Madrid put a beating on me. It was just a purple belt.
Yeah.
At a gym where like it was more MMA based. So a jiu-jitsu guy would have choked me 16. And Arnold Montero used to just choke me 16 different ways. It was a blue belt going purple.
Yeah.
And then they, everything split up. But yeah, like that. So when that football coach was like, go to the wrestling room. It was great.
Yeah.
And I started my season like 4-0. I was just like throwing people with like a basic pan.
Yeah.
And then one time he put me through a rough workout, ab workout, and I got my ass kicked at Thunderbird High School. And that dude was beast. He probably can still beat me.
Was it like fatigue?
So I kind of looked at my wrestling coach like, we did a lot of abs, bro. I was working out. I'm doing this and then doing that. Like, what do you want me to do? And then I don't know, but the football coach came up to me and was like, tired?
Oh,
I was like,
oh no.
I was like, tired. I was like, so he had a lot of respect for me. So I lost his respect a little bit. And I just never, that's how you grow up. You're like, you feel bad for your mentor viewing you that way. But he was just like, you told me you were tired? Oh, I'll make you tired. When do you wrestle? Okay, you got a tournament next week? Okay, you got a lot of laps now.
Oh, wow.
And you know what? I wanted it.
Yeah.
After wrestling was done, I took second in division. State, I took 7th. It wasn't even a ranking. So it was cool. Like, I headbutted the last guy because I was so emotional. It's like, that was it. And I cried in the alleyway on the way back home. Like, it was just bad. And I walked home like 10 miles one day just because I was just so broke.
Wow.
my parents got back together. Everything was good. I worked at Dairy Queen, found the elementary school. Everything's good. And then fast forward, like found jiu-jitsu, and I was like, oh, that tunnel way. When you're at the tunnel way on your way home, and you sit down, you cry for half an hour, it's not over.
Yeah.
There's another chance. Like someone just came over to me and said, there's another life.
Yeah.
Try this. You can compete in front of people. You can prove it to yourself. Proving it to yourself is good, but like when people witness something, that's great. That's what the kids' parents see when they get belts and stripes.
Yeah.
So it's, live that moment. Jiu-jitsu is a great opportunity.
It is.
Just start over.
Yeah, yeah. But what's your opinion on guys? What do you tell people when they come into your academy and they want to do MMA?
Oh, I can just beat you up in gi and you'll just you don't even want.
Yeah.
I'll just get beat up in gi.
Yeah.
Then get beat up in no gi.
Yeah.
And then get beat up in Muay Thai. And then get beat up in boxing. In the boxing, if you get beat up in boxing, you're not allowed to hug. You're not allowed to take them down. You're not allowed to kick them. You're not allowed to elbow them. Like, dude, and you know how to do those things. It is a humbling thing when a boxer could just. I had some boxing coaches at my gym over time where I'm like, no, because obviously if I lose to you, I will throw a fit. This sucks. I cannot move my head or my arms the way you do.
Yeah.
But when it's MMA, stances change.
Mm-hmm.
Kicks, your head, your boxing goes from like, it's just a different world.
Yeah.
I love MMA. I wish I don't know, like I'm losing time. I've asked promoters to put me in their amateur card and they just don't know what to do with me because I'm a black belt and it's like, we'll wait. And I'm like, are you going to really do it? I'm like, I've shown up to every fight to win with a torn meniscus, torn ACLs. I've shown up with broken ribs to jiu-jitsu tournaments. Every promoter, like fight to win, like Seth knows, like I'll do any fight.
Yeah.
Like just the last couple is just been doing other things that are just a little bit different.
Yeah.
More beneficial for me at the time. Chicago Open was beneficial and I get a lot of experience from it. Back in Phoenix, it's just, I don't know what it's doing. Yeah. I don't see fight to win like being beneficial for Phoenix grapplers at all. Yeah. With a 1 week notice.
It's frustrating because
I run a business, you run a business. Yeah. So does a guy that runs a business.
Yeah.
But he's busy with so much. It's not his fault. He knows. We know. Yeah. But our people that we cater to, our students that we love, our people that want mom or dad who wants to see us do it, like they're like, oh honey, I'm going to Hawaii that weekend. Are you serious?
Well, it's like 7 days from now. You know what I mean? They're like, no, we have plans. Sorry.
Listen, tell South right now. You got me, you got Paul Nava, you got anyone who would do the matchmaking.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people around this valley that could do the matchmaking, that could do the posters.
Yeah.
Months ahead of time.
Yeah.
Tell you when to show up and put your stage up.
Yep.
At least our money's going towards supporting. We love that it's on Flow Grappling. Go for it.
Fight to win. Fight to win's a great opportunity for people to showcase their skills.
Aaron Wilson doesn't want to fight the guy down the street. He wants to fight the IBJJF second rank, the first rank guy, not some guy we don't want to fight our own training partners.
No,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
At this point, the show should be at a point where they're shipping guys from Vegas, and I got so lucky. Got me guys like, I'll travel for you, man. I'll do it for free. You don't have to pay me. I love that show. I love reffing for it. I love everything. I've done reffing for it.
Yeah, that's nerve wracking.
Would never. Refs get paid whatever you want. There's people that shouldn't be reffing. Yeah, don't do it. People that are doing it, you could take all the profit. Like, this is tough. Just do it right.
I will tell you what, man. Like, I've done the referee seminars, the IBJJF ones, and the only thing I can tell you that I get out of those seminars is I don't want to be a ref. Yeah, it's so difficult, man. I have a lot of respect, and what they're doing, like what Gustavo Dantas has done, and Samir Chantre, he's the head ref for the AZBJJL. They've done it right. It's. There's some greener referees that are getting into it, but how do you train a referee? You got to, how do you train them?
I was at the last AZBJJF league, and there was an active guy. I don't know who he was. I don't recognize him, but he would. There was times where I thought a ref did it just right, and a guy walked up and gave him like, "Hey, this, this, and I'm like, dude, I know he's talking about reffing right now. I'm in Portuguese, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, like he ref. It looked right to me, but if I watch video, maybe I can find what he's talking about. But man, they're doing a good job at just trying to keep it fair.
Yeah,
like there are a lot of stakes for us because we're promising parents like this is #1 gym. Everyone's doing that.
Yeah, everybody's
and everyone's getting results. The good news. Yeah, good. Yeah. Everyone keep investing in this. This is good.
Yeah.
I don't want to put my money on any other tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing that I tell parents, like, because they want their kids to do this tournament and that tournament. I'm like, okay, great. However, like, what do you know about the referees? Yeah. And that's, and they're like, well, I don't know. Well, okay. So if you don't know, just so you understand, the referee is the athlete's lifeline.
Yeah.
They're there to make sure that no one gets seriously injured, you know, especially with kids. If they're not trained, because I've had promotions call me and be like, hey, you want to ref this weekend? I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind? No.
You have to see the quality in that.
I
mean, at least these guys are being like flown in.
Yeah, they're trained. Yeah. And you see the same guys doing
do you agree that this is a great opportunity to grow our kids ready to be, or adults ready for IBJJF events?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I love, like, I'll say their names. Naga, Jiu-Jitsu World League, and then ADCC, Phoenix. They're starting. I mean, they've been around. Some of them have been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. They're starting. They're doing better. They're picking facilities that are not usually where we go, and it gives them a better feeling for the kids.
Yep. Good.
You did a good job. This ASU building from
World League,
Jiu-Jitsu World League.
So good.
It's so good. Oh, that's great. Okay.
And the refs were good.
Well, okay. This time the refs are good. Last couple of times, I don't know if it's just me or that. I'm viewing. I was like, it's no different. Sometimes the refs are as bad as wherever.
Yeah.
The kid just has to be a convincing grappler.
Yes.
And so then I view myself. I go into every event, and I go through losses and wins through the, you know, so you just got to win your match.
That's it.
And so like every event could be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, this one says they're the world championships.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
AGF is doing a pretty good job. They've gotten a lot better.
I haven't done anything with them since like I first did it like a long time ago.
They've come a long way.
Always do your first or two events.
Yeah.
I'll always market your first two things, but then after a while, you really got to do it on your own. I got to get like, okay, yeah.
So the one thing I liked about AGF is I actually worked it. I worked it twice. I did the check-in desk one time where I do the weigh-ins, and then the second time I did I was the mat side like scorekeeper, and you know if at the time I was not a black belt. I think I was a brown belt at the time, and I told the guy. What's his name? Oh, gosh, why can't I think of his name? Chris, I think. So I told Chris, I'm like, hey, man, I go at 2, so I want to get a warm-up in. He walks over, and he's like, hey, competing is your first priority. So whatever you got to do, if you got to go get in the zone or go warm up, he's like, find somebody, take your spot, and you go. I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, dude. Like, yes, I'm working the event, and I agreed to work the event, but his bigger picture is, like, about the athlete.
Yeah.
And that's something that's kind of gets lost sometimes, you know. Not every event is about the athlete, you know. So that's why I like that. That kind of warmed my heart to the AGF.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think I did the Fuji event once as a ref, and that's how I met Austin Baker, and I did it with a former opponent fighter, Corey Molis. It was a good time, and then I got to see the jiu-jitsu community do the scorekeeping and stuff. And I was just like, I was having a good time. Like I like reffing, but then also like there are people that are disgruntled, and so I'm just like, you're making it not worth it.
Right.
And so I'd just rather be the guy telling the dad, like, don't do that to the ref. Like that ref's gonna remember you. He's gonna beat up your coach. He's gonna have a student who beat up your kid again. Yeah. And he's just gonna be smiling like, don't do it. It's just not good karma, you know. Just
the community's way too small. You can't get away with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just be cool.
I like the parents at my gym. Like I get to communicate with them about like what I see good and bad. And then same with the adults program. I'll tell a student like, hey man, when I go compete, don't be obnoxious. Just
be cool. Yep.
Everyone.
Yep.
Good.
Or like Sean Downey, he just shuts his whole team up.
Yeah,
he just stands up and he goes like this. Everybody goes quiet. It's hilarious.
I remember Gerson used to, if he got a good old choke in the hole, everyone wants to cheer for him. He would just be like,
yep.
Like just
yeah.
And then I've competed with guys like that, and they'll come up to me, like Gerson's came up to me and was like, "Hey man, your team's very like chill." And
yeah.
I'm like, thanks man. I don't want this to be weird. Like here's a problem. Something I see in certain age groups, certain divisions, and I'm not going to say male or female or nothing like that, but there's a huge loss in a lot of competitors in some sections of our sport. And a lot of it has to do with the disrespect that may happen by accident. You didn't shake that person's hand. Look, when I see that section where like one of my students may lose a competitor, I look at the person and go, please come back. You did a good job.
Yeah.
We figured this out. You're going to do good. You're going to come. I just try to get as much as I can. If they sit still and hear me out, it's like, just keep doing your thing. This is a process. You're going to win next time. You don't know. And I have to get them better.
Yeah.
But if they go, screw this, I quit, from a child to a young adult, it's like, oh, dang it. What could I have said to this person that could have kept them from quitting so my student can get better? Because like if there's no opponent, some of these kids I have don't have opponents.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's a big deal.
They did at one point. Where did those kids go? Where did that whatever division that was go? And the thing is, like, we want to for now on, like, if someone competes, shake the kid's hand, shake the girl's hand, shake the guy's hand, shake the masters 1 through 5 and say, you did good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're way behind right now.
Yeah.
It'll come together. We know what it feels like.
Absolutely.
Keep doing it. Keep staying with, don't quit.
Don't quit.
And then your student goes, man, like, my divisions are packed, like, because of you. Not only in our team, but other teams. So I hope the community sees when I shake a kid's hand or anyone who competes, I talk a little bit.
Yeah.
I just go, just keep doing your thing. You're doing great. This was hard. This is the best. Nationals is next week. Good luck. And then they do better than this one, than mine. So it's like, hey, and then the next season, we need each other. Like, the community needs to be more competitive, but also respectful.
Yeah.
And then we can just continue to be better at big events.
Yeah.
I like cross training.
Me too.
Me too.
I'm all about it.
I know you guys have 7 gyms. I have 12th Street. I go to Gustavo's respectfully. Whoever they have cross training, whoever I have cross training. And then Sean Downey, Lotus Club, invites me over there.
Cool. Yeah.
I got London who comes in. He loves to come hang out with me.
Nice.
I like him so much, man.
Yeah. That's cool.
He just had a kid. I mean, it's a kid.
Oh, no kidding.
Guy.
Yeah.
And I keep meeting people from Ari's.
Yeah.
And they're really good people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I always open my doors like, stop in. I have an open mat. I have a class. If you want to come in and just pick Adrian's brain, doesn't mean, dude, if you came more than once, that'd be better attendance than my own students. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a big deal. Like, if you came to something once or twice, it doesn't mean anything. I have guys that I wish in my own team would show up more.
That's cool.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think we all go to QT, we all go to Circle K, and I don't go QT. I'm sorry. I got my gas from Circle K last week. Like, we don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
I need help right now. I don't have time to go to the QT far away. This one serves me just fine for now.
Absolutely.
So we need to just,
support each other. That's all we need to do. Well, listen, man, we've been going for 2.5 hours, and let's go ahead and close out, but let everybody know how they can find you on social media or events you have coming up.
All right. I got 12th Street Jiu-Jitsu.com, the website, but 12th Street Jiu-Jitsu Instagram. I control the Jose Munoz 88 Instagram. That's mine.
Yep.
I do a 12th Street Muay Thai one, and then I do, like, Jose loves Muay Thai, and Jose loves Judo. And
I love it.
So I like just there's other universes out there, and I hope anyone who moves to North Phoenix and wants to stop in, go ahead.
Yeah. What are your cross streets?
12th Street and Bell.
Okay.
So I named 12th Street and, it's a community.
I love it. Yeah, that's cool. All right, guys. Well, if you love the podcast or if you hate the podcast, please like and subscribe. Give us a review. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. The website is making progress. I've got somebody working on that now, and hopefully we'll get that up soon. I want to thank our sponsor, BioPro. I've been doing BioPro for about 4 months now, and maybe longer than 5 months now. And it's been a game changer for me. If you're an aging grappler or if you're just a young person trying to recover faster, give it a try at bioprotechnologies.com. And Jose, thank you so much for being on, brother.
Oh, man. Thank you so much.
Yes. Pleasure, man.
I share your stuff because you make it simple for me. Some parents can look at some of the things you say. Some of the adults can see what you say, and you can see this is a gym that does those things, and you're in a good place.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. And we'll have to do this again. We'll do it after your next big win.
Oh man, yeah, I want to do it with Aaron Wilson or Tojo.
Tojo, yeah, we'll get him in the room. We'll get you. Absolutely,
those are my homies.
Let's do it
a lot.
Yeah.
You want to go crazy? Willie's crazy.
Yeah.
I would love to hear his stories.
Okay.
If you ever have any group, I don't know.
Well, Adrian is next on my list. I'm going to reach out to him, get him on the show.
You get him, man.
Yeah.
Just get him to talk. He has a lot of great philosophy. He's a philosophy man. He could just tell you.
I can't wait. Yeah. I'm sure it'd be a great conversation. I've been following him for a little while, and I don't know that I've ever met him in person, so I can't wait. Yeah.
It'll be great.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. Yes. This episode of the BJJ Foxcast is brought to you by BioPro. BioPro is an all-natural alternative to prescription human growth hormone, which aids in recovery, anti-aging, metabolism, libido, immunity, skin health, cognition, sleep, and stress. Just 1 vial per day provides a substantial boost to all of these growth factors. Okay, so that's what they want me to say. Here's what I know as an aging grappler. I've been using BioPro Plus and the nighttime variant, BioPro Plus Cortisleep, for several months, and it feels like I've grown a third lung. My gas tank is noticeably bigger, my recovery is faster, and I'm back on the mats much quicker, not just between training sessions, but between rounds. Now you can get $30 off your first order of BioPro when you use the code FOXCAST at www.bioproteintech.com. That's code FOXCAST for $30 off your first order at www.bioproteintech.com. Thank you, BioPro.